Welcome back here, Watson Stadium. Getting ready for the pregame show here in just a minute. We do have a delay on this game. It was originally going to be 7:30, now 7:05 for the kickoff, so just a 5-minute delay because of the Lightning changing their direction just a little bit around the area. Again, we'll have the pregame show for the Hobbs Eagles and the Lovington Wildcats. It's homecoming 2023, also the Battle of Lee County, as the two Lee County squads just 20 miles apart go head-to-head. I'm Ty Friend, Ron Gunner with me tonight, and Tiffany Stuber back at the station. Again, we will have a start time here in a couple of minutes for the pregame show. Kickoff will be 7:05, 5 minutes late due to some lightning in the area, but it's a lot better than what it was going to be before.
That is true. This is Ron, and you learn what you're doing. No. Yes, we are having a delay with weather, but luckily it was very minor. I actually saw the cloud when it was coming in, so it didn't look like it was going to cause too many problems, but it did, of course, cause a delay. 7:05, it should be the kickoff time. We'll have a pregame in just minutes here to prepare you for this game and what could possibly happen.
T-shirts, umbrellas, seat cushions, eagle flags.
Welcome live to Watson Stadium. Time for Homecoming 2023 with their Hobbs Eagles as they host the Lovington Wildcats. Ty Friend with you and Ron Gunner here on Cool 95.7, HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube, and the Hobbs Sports page, as well as Cool 95.7's Facebook page. And, of course, big game tonight for both of the teams coming in, Eagles and the Wildcats at 1-2 on the season. And I think it's a pretty big yardstick to be measuring these two teams. Of course, Lovington getting a big win last week for their first win of the season, thrashing Santa Teresa. And, of course, the Hobbs Eagles with 2 losses in a row now to Artesia and Roswell in a blowout loss last week. They're 1-2 now after beating Clovis to start the season. So both teams sitting at 1-2, but the big thing about this game is we got a bigger opponent in terms of division versus a smaller opponent down the road, a couple divisions lower. Still a pretty big rival between the two. Hobbs does lead the series 54 wins and 28 losses, so 26 more wins than the Wildcats. Eagles also have the advantage 15-6 since 2000 for the last 23 seasons, or 22 seasons up till now. So they have a big advantage in the later years, but at the same time, even just one loss against a smaller division team sends a team reeling. And right now, Hobbs would like to get to 500, but I think the Wildcats would like to also.
Yeah, I mean, if Wildcats play like they did last week, they were very they took advantage of all the turnovers they had, 7 to be exact, against Santa Teresa. And, it also didn't help that Santa Teresa had a sophomore quarterback. So they held him down to under 78 yards the total, but we know that that's not going to happen tonight. At least we hope that Hobbs won't be held to under 100 yards, both passing and rushing. But we're getting into it. Basically, it's going to be all about who can pass, who can throw. Last week, the other thing was Wyatt was able to get some ball movement going. He was using the short passes, and they weren't running as much. In fact, they got about 54 yards total for rushing last week, and they had about 380 yards total passing. And so what he was doing was he was using some short passes. He did throw one in the end zone, got the score for that, was a 24-yarder. But otherwise, he was hitting some nice passes, and the receivers were basically getting all the yards. In fact, one of them got 65 yards, making a 75-yard TD just off his legs. And so he did really well. The O-line did their job. They protected the quarterback. They also got some nice protection for the wide receivers as well. So that's what they're looking at. Hobbs is probably looking at trying to secure their secondary and be able to get some stops, maybe even get some interceptions. And again, it's one of those situations where when Hobbs is down on their on the possessions, then they usually lose. If they can get up and start getting the ball back, forcing turnovers, then Hobbs has a better chance to win.
You mentioned that win for Lovington, 58-7 last week, a 51-point win there, up 35-7 in the first quarter alone. For the game, Wyatt Gomez, you mentioned him, 380 yards in the air, 6 touchdowns, no interceptions, so kept good control of the football, and about 59% completion rate for him in that ball game. Top receiver was Cesar Gonzalez, 5 catches, 161 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a long of 75, so big play for him in that one, averaging 32 per catch. Definitely some big numbers for Gonzalez. And DeMarcus Thompson, another big one with triple digits, 4 catches, 121 yards, a couple of touchdowns as well. He had a big one for 51 yards for his long of the day. So those two guys, Gonzalez and Thompson, definitely some big-time legs and catching hands threats out there on the squad. Well, they outdistanced Santa Teresa 434 to 230 in terms of total offense. So pretty devastating numbers there. Held Santa Teresa to 156 rushing and 74 yards passing in that victory. Again, you mentioned the running game not really big for Lovington this season. Not much in that game either. Cayman Ochoa was at 10 for 48 with 2 touchdowns. But even though he'd only got less than 50, 2 scoring drives and putting him in the end zone, pretty good. Most players like to have touchdowns. They might not worry about as much as yards, but TDs is where it's at. You get those 6 points. Defense, Kyler Reeves, 7 tackles, 2 for a loss. Anson Marquez also had 7, 1.5 for a loss. And then Cayman Ochoa, who plays both sides of the football for the Wildcats, he had 6 tackles in the game. As a team, though, the Wildcats dropped Santa Teresa behind the line 9 times. 5 of those were sacks in the contest, so pretty good numbers there. Caused 1 fumble and had 4 INTs. So definitely domination of Santa Teresa for their first win of the season. In terms of the numbers this year for Lovington, a predominant passing team, a major domination with 899 yards in the air, just 218 in the running game. So I think that's pretty easy to scout. Hobbs has been keying on that all week long. Gonzalez leads with 356 yards, about 18 yards a catch. And also another triple-digiter, we mentioned Thompson, 301 yards in catches, and he's averaging 23.2 a ball game. So those guys really are getting the job done. Gonzalez with 5 touchdowns and 3 for Thompson in the offense. Defensive-wise, a couple of guys stepping up so far this season for the Wildcats in terms of tackles. 33 for Clayton, the senior. Also a couple of guys in double digits as well. Betancourt has 22. Reeves, we mentioned a minute ago, 20. Thompson also playing both sides of the football. He's got 10 tackles on the season. Lovington has had 16 tackles for losses this season as a squad. Last week, the Hobbs Eagles losing their 2nd game in a row. This one to Roswell. Of course, Roswell, one of the toughest teams in the 5A as of last year and the year before, of course, along with Artesia. Eagles losing 34-6. And, boy, Roswell had control at halftime, even 27-0 in that ball game. Brock Beatty, the quarterback for the Eagles, 12 of 20 for just 63 yards in that game and threw 3 interceptions. Now, one of those was a ricochet that hit off a shoulder pad and just kind of bounced up in the air, a pickoff for Roswell. But the other 2 kind of thrown right in the arms of the defenders on those. The rumor is to this game, Owen Callaway, the senior that was a JV quarterback last year, will start. We'll have to wait and see if that does come down to fruition when we get this thing going. Last week, he was 2 for 4 for 57 yards and had the only touchdown throw of the contest. That was to Saul Armendariz, who caught one for 52 yards. So a quarterback change possibly in the making. We'll wait and see if that happens. Eagles definitely have to pick up their offensive number, just 167 total in that game last week. Armendariz, 3 catches for 71 to the touchdown. Jeremiah Hawkins had 8 catches for 36, so those are the 2 predominant ones there. A total of 107 between those 2. Rushing game, not much going on, but Saul Armendariz, 16 carries for 47 yards as a team. He was 9 of 33 himself, so just 14 shy of the complete numbers for the Hobbs Eagles. Defense, 4 players with double-digit tackles in that game. Gustavo Diaz-Castro, the linebacker, had 13. Zach McPherson, also a linebacker, 12, with 8 of those just solo tackles by himself. Jacob Diaz, 11 tackles and 7 solo, and Cameron Hernandez. So a bunch of linebackers really helping out with the wrap-ups for the Hobbs Eagle defense. Offense this season, of course, the Eagles at 464, slight lead in terms of compared to rushing. Rushing numbers are 381. For the rushing side, the leader with triple digits, Armendariz, just shy of 200 with 198 yards so far on 39 carries, averaging 5.1 a pop. Getting close to 100 now, Amarian Kennedy has 98. He's averaging 8.9 a carry for the Hobbs Eagles. As a team, they get about 5 yards a gain once they rush the football. On the receiving side, in terms of Beatty, who came into to this week as a starter, he was completing 55% of his passes for 407. Callaway, 2 for 4 for 57, and those catches made last week from his receivers as he came in the 4th quarter. Top receiver so far, Hawkes with 190 yards on 19 carries, 10 a pop. And then a major drop down in the numbers after that. Franklin was 76 yards and Armendariz 71. Those 2 have combined for 12 receptions, 9 for Franklin. Both of those guys in the 20s, though, for average on the catches, 25 for Franklin and 23 for Armendariz. Eagles have had a total of 5 touchdowns in the passing game and 3 in the running game, so only 8 touchdowns in 3 games. Those numbers have dropped quite a bit from last year where Hobbs went 9-2 on the season. Yeah,
they were about 53.5 when they started the game last season, and actually improved against Lovington. But now they're about 17.6 a game, and that includes, of course, that first game against Clovis, and that helped a lot. But they are still needing a lot of improvement. They have been able to avoid the goose egg, and they've done it for the last 36 games. However, you know what? This is going to be a Lovington game that's going to come out, or a Lovington team that's going to come out, and they're going to want to do exactly what they did last week. They started off last week against Santa Teresa, getting the ball on the kickoff, and was just scored immediately after that. Got the ball back after another turnover for Santa Teresa, and before you knew it, it was 15-0 very early in the first. And I'm sure if Lovington had it their way, they'd want to write that script where it's 14-15-0 early on in the first quarter, and they're in the driver's seat after that. Once you get 15 points, then you feel a little more comfortable, you feel a little more ease, and you're willing to do more things that you wouldn't do when you're at a close game.
Of course, the Eagles' defense going to have to be king on the passing game. That's the predominant bread and butter of the Wildcats so far this season. Defense are going to have to step it up, and that means a linebacking core of the secondary, which was kind of young. They had some injuries to start the season and had some replacements at different spots, safeties and corners at some points. But really the big numbers coming so far from Diaz-Castro, the linebacker. He's had 33 tackles for the Eagles and about 11 a game, so 11 in each of the 3 that they played so far. He's by and far the leader on the team. Other guys stepping up, Tristan Davis, another linebacker. He's got 28 tackles this season, about 9.3 a game. And Zade McPherson has 34 tackles as well for the Eagles. So you got 2 guys in the 30s, 1 in the 20s, and then a whole slew of guys in the teens at this point in time. Eagles with a total of 11 tackles for losses. Got to get more penetration on the quarterback and in the backfield. Lovington and Hobbs, of course, big matchup here at Watson Stadium for homecoming. Ron, let's talk about some of the keys in this game. And first, let's talk about the Lovington Wildcats. And I know Coach Gonzalez has mentioned that throughout the week in practice form, getting ready for this game. He wants his team to get back on track in terms of stopping the turnovers, not giving the football away on freebies, especially against a 6A opponent like the Eagles, who were 9-2 last year. Limit the penalties. That's something we've talked about with Hobbs as well. Coach Stevens has mentioned that before, but Lovington wants to kind of keep those under their belt just a little bit more. Also getting their defense ready to set up quickly when the hurry-up offense comes for Hobbs. They can't just wait back on their heels because there's a lot of quicksters out there for the Eagles to get down the field and throw the ball. Hobbs doesn't always come and snap right out of the hurry-up offense. They might stand and watch the sideline, but it's hard to get defensive personnel in the game when you have that mentality out there. So those are the keys that Coach Gonzalez for the Wildcats talked about. Turnovers limit the penalties, and get your defense set up quickly for all those athletes the Eagles have on the field, especially at the wideouts.
Yeah, and also Gonzalez did talk about the fact that Hobbs is a good running team, so he's going to try to limit them as far as running. Once you do that, then you've got the passing. The passing, as of now, has been kind of suspect. They've been spotty as far as targeting, so hopefully they've been working on that this week, being able to get a little bit better as far as accuracy, because some of these throws are good, but they're just over, under, whatever it is. Somewhere, for whatever reason, they're missing their targets. And what we're hoping for is for, of course, better accuracy in the throwing.
So Hobbs keys, too many penalties the same. Coach Stevens saying that just like Coach Gonzalez did. We've seen some games where Hobbs had like 7 penalties by halftime and kind of tapered it off in the second half, which was a good sign. Handle aggressive Lovington defense. Lovington's going to charge in on you, put some shots on, so Eagles better be ready for that. One quote I noticed that Coach Stevens had in the paper this past week is get out of your own way. Hobbs kind of steps in some mud puddles sometimes, and then they get all worried about the mud on their uniform, just facetiously speaking here, and then it kind of brings them down morally just a little bit. That's something you got to get over, suck it up and move on and not dwell on the problems. Getting used to the new quarterback. Of course, if Owen Callaway does start tonight like he's expected to, there's going to be a little bit of getting used to factor there. Of course, he was a JV QB starter last year, but again, this is a new season, new players, and new protection on the front line with some of the offensive linemen there. So that's going to take a little bit of growing up going on there for players and receivers to get used to that. Also, they have to make sure they limit the big plays from Lovington. We have a couple mentions of the stats that they had this season and some of the big plays against Santa Teresa. Hobbs has got to be ready for that. And really not having to stay with the defense on the field too long. I mean, we had a lot of situations last week against Roswell and Artesia where the defense would be out there, make a stop. We saw a goal line stand in a couple plays, and then all of a sudden there's a turnover, interception, fumble, whatever, or maybe on special teams even, then the defense has to come back out on the field. So they're getting a double workout for the price of one.
Absolutely. It looks like the toss was won by Lovington. It looks like they deferred and will be on the south side. Hobbs will be on the north side to start it off. And looks like they'll be receiving, although I was wrong last week, so who knows. But I did notice that Lovington won the toss. As far as this game, yeah, it is also a toss-up to see exactly who's going to play well.
Don't forget the series, 54 wins, 28 losses. Hobbs leading that one. And, of course, the last win for Lovington was the spring of 2021, the COVID year, 28-25 in favor of the Wildcats. But since then, the Eagles have had all the victories up until this season where we're going to get ready for the game. We're going to get a break here about 3 minutes away from kickoff, just a little bit late on the start due to the lightning in the area, but it looks like that's not going to be a major issue. Homecoming 2023, Hobbs and Lovington here at Watson Stadium. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Welcome back to Watson Stadium, getting ready for the homecoming 2023 contest, Hobbs versus Lovington. Ty friend Ron Gunner and back at the station, Evie Stuber with you as the Eagles and the Wildcats on the field ready for the national anthem. We will take a 90-second break as we get ready for the kickoff here. You're with us live on Cool 95.7, HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube, and the Cool 95.7 Facebook page. Get ready for the kickoff here at Watson Stadium. The Hobbs Eagles and the Lovington Wildcats, both teams at 1-2 on the season. Eagles with an 0-2 record the last couple of weeks against Artesia and Roswell, both teams out of the 5A. And, of course, the Lovington Wildcats with their big win last week over Santa Teresa on the road trip. So Eagles are going to be preparing for Rio Rancho next week, a big game, one of the top teams in the state. So this is kind of a prelude to that. And, of course, this is a rival contest between these two squads. If you look back on the history of this, longest streak for Hobbs was 10-0 back 1944 to 1953. Longest Lovington streak was 6-0 twice, 1993 to 98 and 85 to 90. So Hobbs also with those double-digit victories we mentioned in the 40s and 50s, but also in the 70s too, they were 8-0, 70 to 77. Most points scored in a game between the two. Hobbs in 2017 had 59 points. Lovington had 55 in a win in 1993. The shutouts, Hobbs a big domination there, 21 blanks of Lovington, and Lovington had 8 against the Hobbs Eagles. Again, the overall record 54-28. Hobbs has the advantage, 15-6 since 2000. That's your setup, ready for the action. White and blue for Lovington, white uniforms, blue pants. Eagles black with the gold numbers. Ready for the kickoff. The Eagles will return to start this ball game. We're listening live on the No Mark Broadcasting Stations. A long one back to the 10. Go with the starburst, and they will hand it off around the right end of the 20. 25 Hawkins, 30, 35 far sideline, 40, and right out of bounds. Perfect field position for the Eagles to get moving on this one. And, of course, we don't see the starburst a lot this year so far for the Hobbs Eagles. We're going to start with some trickery, of course, for a homecoming matchup in front of your crowd.
Yeah, well, you know, losing two big ones in a row and facing a rivalry like Lovington, you want to do your best, and that is the way to start.
So Hobbs will get some great field position. Let's see where they're going to mark this at. Might be shy of the 40 as we wait for the officials to get the mark here.
So it looks like there's a penalty that happened, probably a hold.
Hold or a block in the back, usually on those returns that break somebody open. The starburst started out really well. It's kind of a solid handoff to the middleman, waiting for the players to converge on him. Yep, they're going to have the holding penalty 10 yards already. We just talked about penalties. Both coaches talking about needing to limit that stuff, and already the Hobbs Eagles are the first recipient of the yellow handkerchief back at the 20-yard line. So they must have happened around the 30. It's a 10-yard penalty. 1st and 10 for the Eagles. As they get up, kind of a scrunched lineup here. A couple of slots and receivers on there, the line of scrimmage, and 2 in the backfield. Owen Callaway, of course, the starting quarterback in this game, the senior JV QB from last year. He's going to get the handoff from the right slot to the left around the end of Hawkins. Tries to head outside, and he's going to be dropped in the backfield. Maybe a couple of yard loss as he was chased quickly by Kyler Reeves, the outside linebacker for the Wildcats. They're going to say the 19, so -1 to get this going. Not the way you want to start for the offense.
No, but also not the way you want to go with a holding call at the beginning when you had fairly good field position. So Hobbs is just going to be working out of their green area to get this ball moving.
2nd down or 11 now from their own 19 on the left hash. Eagles are going to send 2 receivers to the short side left in front of their sideline and 2 to the right. Waiting for the shotgun. Callaway going to take some time here. Has Armendariz next to him. Two-step drop, stays pocket, gets his pass deflected. It's up in the air right across the line of scrimmage and trying to bat it down away from the defense that time. Isaiah Rodriguez, he could taste somebody behind him in the linebacking core. Almost a chance for a pickoff there as the ball kind of bounced up in the air. Cayman Ochoa, it was slapped on the right side of the line for the Eagles. Luckily, not into the hands of the Wildcats.
Yeah, and Ochoa had a really great game last week with the, of course, the Wildcats. That one was just an unfortunate bat.
3rd down and 11 from the 19. Twins left and right. Eagles going to pull out of their play call. Look to the sideline to Coach Stevens. Pulls a big piece of paper out of his back pocket there to get the set call and has got it back out on the field. Everybody's changing up a little bit to get the play in motion here. 3rd down and 11 from the 19. Shotgun, 3-step drop. Callaway steps up in the pocket, fires down the middle. A seam route just barely misses the outstretched left hand at the 45. Incomplete, and getting a little bit of room that time for the Hobbs Eagles. Stretching it out was Justin Black. And I think he was out last game, had an injury to deal with, didn't play last week against Roswell. The Eagles are now 0-2, and Callaway has a different release on his football, kind of a sidearm just a bit, and chucked that one down to a attempted wide open Black there, but a little bit overthrown. And he started to try to get his rust off a little bit first start of the season.
Yeah, I'm going to blame the slide singers on Mahomes. He likes to do that a lot when he's on the run.
They got beat last night, Ron.
I know.
How about those Lions?
Exactly.
Exciting game, too. Went down to the wire up there at Arrowhead Stadium. Our own sports editor for the Hobbs News Sun, Jason Farmer, in the seats for that one in Kansas City. Here's the punt from the 10-yard line. Beatty will get rid of it. He'll take a roll for the Eagles past the 50 up the left sideline in front of the Hobbs Eagle bench and stops at the 43 where it's slapped down by Justin Black. So good roll on the punt that time. But it will get the ball to the Wildcats in good field position, Ron, at about the 42. And they've got some superstars on this team. Good running route receivers. They get open, have good hands. And Eagles secondary, as you mentioned in the pregame, better be ready.
Exactly. They are definitely going to get some workout from Wyatt because he can air that ball out. In fact, the last 2 games he's had 9 touchdown passes, and of course he's expecting to get more tonight.
You mentioned Wyatt Gomez, the senior quarterback, 6'1", 175. And, of course, Callaway for the Eagles, 6'1", 178, a little bit of a bigger quarterback for the Eagles. A bunched up, trips right, receiver left for the Wildcats as Gomez goes into shotgun mode. Low snap, fakes the handoff on the around. Now he's going to throw it down the far sideline on the seam, over the shoulder, through the fingertips. There was some contact on the football, diving in the air for it at the 30, but incomplete. And Lovington would have had a major first down on that one. And jogging back after the long sprint up the sideline is DeMarcus Thompson, incomplete. But he got his body up in the air and the fingers wrapped around the ball, but he was high jumping over the top of the bar at the 30 at the other end and could not come down with it.
Well, even if he had, it would have been out of bounds. But, of course, we expected to see Thompson be part of this offense, and definitely the first play of the series. And he's already trying to get the ball to him. So, yeah, definitely if it's not going to be Thompson, it's definitely going to be Gonzalez, who they're going to be trying to get the ball to.
Manuel Murillo, the far sideline cornerback near the Lovington bench. On the right, shotgun, it's bouncing on the ground. Gomez picks it up, Australian rolls football style, throws the out route to the 50, stumbling ahead for 12 in the first down, and Hobbs territory at the 48 on the reception.
Yeah, it was a nice play. Wyatt actually kept his cool about that one, just rolled out to the left, was able to find his target and make it, and not only that, but he also got the first down to boot.
I believe that was Elijah Rivero who picks up the 12 yards, his first catch of the ball game. So Rivero will move the chains for the Lovington Wildcats, their first down. Now mark it at the 47 of the Eagles in their territory on the left hash. Gomez had to bounce that one off the turf to himself. And now we got a Twins left receiver right. Gomez in the shotgun as a man behind him, the tailback. Little signal to his right receiver now. They're going to pitch it left, coming around the end to the far left sideline, stretching out to the 45. Maybe got some forward progress, maybe a yard gain on that one. Not much more than that. Ochoa, the man with the football, gets 1 on the play. So Ochoa with the first carry for the Wildcats. They've got 13 yards. A pass for 12 and a run for 1 from Ochoa. 2nd down and 9 from the Eagle 46-yard line. Just underway here. Homecoming 2023 at Watson Stadium. 0-0 your score. Hobbs hosting the Lovington Wildcats. Breaking the huddle, taking a little bit of time there as they get up to the line of scrimmage at the left hash. The Eagle 46. 3 in the front for the Hobbs defense. The linebackers trying to get themselves situated now for the Eagles. Shotgun, Gomez. And the delay up the middle to the 45, stretching in the middle again, 40, stretching it down to 43, or make it to 39, and that will be a first down pickup, 11 on the play. So that's going to be, it looks like Ochoa again. So he's going to get 11. So he's got 2 carries now for 12 total, and another first down, number 2 for the Wildcats, right up the gut that time, and looked like he was going to cut up to the right side, but then just stayed. He saw that the Eagles defense was shifting toward that right sideline and kept up the gap and got more for the first. Right in the middle of the field here at the 36 now. First down and 10 for the Wildcats. Up to the line of scrimmage come the white and the blue pants. They'll send 3 left on the receiving core, 1 to the right. Gomez by himself in the shotgun. There is a slot left. He's a tuck and go up the gut across the 35, puts his head down, battering ram style, and gets about 3 as he fell forward. So Gomez with his first carry. Lovington up to 15 yards on 3 for 5 apiece as they pop it across the line in the rushing game.
They're slowly moving the ball down the field like they wanted to, just taking a little bit of real estate or as much as they're allowed by the Hobbs Eagles. And definitely looking like they've got a little momentum going.
As we said, the numbers into this game, Lovington 899 passing yards, just 218 in the running game, so definitely a predominant airborne team. Second down and 8 now from the Eagle 35, left hash, shotgun to Gomez, 2-step drop, fires the out route, catch at the 25, 20, and strung out of bounds for another first down. It's going to be 17 now on the reception for the Wildcats, drug out of bounds after that, and that was DeMarcus Thompson. So he gets 17. That will be a first, the 3rd first down for the Wildcats on a sustained drive now. First catch for Thompson. And Lovington using those huddles, too, to get the play calls that they want.
Exactly. They are using some time to get the play set correctly, unlike Hobbs, who usually uses the no-huddle offense.
Lovington 2 for 2 for 29 yards. With their 4th first down. Back to pass. No, the handoff dump over the right side. Getting around the end to the right. There's a flag flying in the backfield, which usually means a hold. And taking it around the right end was DeMarcus Thompson. But I think we're going to bring this one back. Now, that was in the backfield where the flag flew. But if that's where it is, it will not be marked from the flag. It'll be up to the line of scrimmage. Any of those holding or blocking the back penalties are moved up to the line if it's an offensive foul. It looks like they threw the flag about the 21, make it the 22. Wait for the Whitecap official to make the signal here. And everybody's marching backwards, so pretty good idea that this is going to be against the Wildcats in the backfield. Now the official going to move the flag up to the 20-yard line. They wave off the flag. No, now they're marking it off.
Yep.
They're letting everything be done before they make the signal here, which are kind of waiting to see what the call was. Whitecap keeps looking back at the ball and pointing, and now turning to the press box. Now we got a holding penalty, 10-yarder. That's the first against the Wildcats. Both teams with 10 yards in penalties, 1 each. First down and 20, back it up to the 29-yard line for the Wildcats, middle of the field. 7:21 left first quarter. We're still scoreless here at Watson Stadium. Eagles have 4 in the front box defensively. Trips right, receiver left. They're bunched up. Shotgun to Gomez. 3-step drop back at the 40. He's going to roll right. Gets flushed out of the pocket into the sideline. On the run, chucks it before he goes out of bounds, but throws it into the soil there in front of the Hobbs Eagle bench up at about the 15-yard line. Only people out in that area were 3 black jerseys. Now, of course, the rule the last couple of seasons, you can throw the ball away, but you have to get out of the blocking zone and out in the sides and also throw that ball at least going across the line of scrimmage. If it was a shorter line of scrimmage, it could be illegal grounding still. But he chucked that down the field. There was no receivers in the area, but about 3 black jerseys just waiting for that to be a little bit more airborne so they could pick it off.
Well, like you said, he was out of the tackle box, completely out, was just saving it for the next down.
Wildcats 2 for 3 now. Second down and 20 from the 29 of the Eagles. Shotgun Gomez, option left, coming around the end as Ochoa slips down. I couldn't get his balance as his left leg kind of pushed outside, and he went down inside to the 30. I think he might have lost a yard on that play. So Ochoa is now 3 carries for 11 yards. 14 total for the rushing game for the Wildcats. Looks like we've got some dominoes down for the Hobbs Eagles that are flat on the ground right now. Two are down, and 1 is going to stay down holding his left knee, which is not a good sign.
No, it's not.
Checking the number down there on the ground right now is Andrew Torres, a defensive end, so definitely don't want to see somebody going down that early in this game. And, of course, you got this major humidity tonight, Ron, and a little bit more cloud cover than what we've had the last couple of days. Humidity is going to really suck the energy out of you, and you do need to suck that water down quite a bit.
Exactly, yeah. Between the pressure of all this humidity and no wind to relieve you from the sweat, It is definitely going to be hot. And down there, it's going to be about 10 to 15 degrees hotter on the field, so it's definitely affecting the players.
Official timeout. They're going to check the injury here. We'll take a break. 7:02 left, first quarter, still 0-0. Lovington versus the Hobbs Eagles for homecoming 2023 at Watson Stadium back in 60. Welcome back to Watson Stadium. Ty friend Ron Gunner, Evie Stuber with you tonight. Injured Hobbs Eagle being helped off the field. Andrew Torres, the defensive end, and he's had some help there. And it looked like he was holding his leg there a few minutes ago. We'll keep an eye on him on the sideline there, part of the right side of the defensive line for the Eagles. 3rd down and 20 for the Wildcats with the football at the Eagle 30 on the left hash. Still 0-0 here, first quarter with 7:02 remaining. Don't forget, next week we'll be on the road to Rio Rancho. 7 o'clock kickoff on that one. One of the only northern teams the Eagles are going to be facing, or Central North, if you want to call it that, North Central. Of course, the Eagles have a lot of teams in the South with the conference district. Las Cruces High and Centennial and Oregon Mountain. So Alamogordo and then Carlsbad, of course. It looks like we're back to live action now as they get the sub in to see who that might have been brought in on that right side of the line. See, somebody stepped up to a line of scrimmage. I don't know if that's a sub or not, but it looks like he wants to fill in quickly. And, of course, no number on the roster. It looks like 32. Trips right, receiver left, shotgun. Gomez going to roll right. He cuts back up the middle as he sees the gap to the 30. Left hash, 25, 20, 15. It slides forward. He's going to get the penalty yardage that they got on the hold plus. That's going to be, looks like, 15 yards for the quarterback. So Gomez make it a little bit more of a decent look here for their 4th down situation. He's got 2 carries for 18 yards, 29 overall in the rushing game for the Wildcats on 5 carries. 6:33 left and counting here in the first, and Lovington knocking on the door, but they have a 4th and about 5.5 to worry about to get to the 9.5 yard line with a big area to work with on the right side. Trips right, receiver left. Gomez will be in the shotgun back with Ochoa. And Hobbs going to put 5 in the box defensively. Big shift in the linebacking core for the Eagles. Long delay here is Gomez going with the hard snap count. I think Coach Gonzalez wants a timeout. They were trying to draw the Eagles off, but it might have been a delay of game. Yes, the field clock down to double zeros. And that's not what you want to see. It's going to back them up even more. That does give you a little bit more end zone to work with. 5 more yards that you can scramble some and check what your receivers are doing. This is a passing team, so you're pretty much going to guess this is a play-action pass type of situation for the Wildcats.
Exactly, although I've seen some screens, some other things as well. They get a short pass and are able to stretch it out to 10, 20, even 50 yards sometimes.
If they did try a field goal, that would probably be about a 37-yarder. They've elected not to worry about that. Trips right, receiver left for the Wildcats. Gomez back in shotgun again with Ochoa. 3-step drop, stays in the pocket, bouncing around a little bit, steps up and fires down the middle. Post route, caught in the end zone, left side for the touchdown. The reception by Alec Holguin, and they put that one down for the score for 6. So that's going to be 21 yards as the Wildcats on the board first in this one at Watson Stadium.
Yeah, just another day in the park for Wyatt as he just threw that one really nicely and hit his target for a nice touchdown.
6-0 Wildcats pinning the PAT. The guy who probably said, hey, why don't you give me a chance to kick a field goal, Coach Gonzalez? But they double up with the touchdown instead, so he'll get a chance for the 1-pointer. And we have a whistle, and looks like the Wildcat line is clapping. I mean, really a penalty for the Wildcats' advantage is not going to really help them much, moving it up half the distance, because kickers don't like to kick straight up. They'd rather have a little bit of a distance to get their foot behind it. Against the Eagles, 5-yard penalty encroachment, so that's going to be their second penalty, 15 total now. What kind of wonder they might even change to get out of their kicking game and make it a 2-point conversion look.
Well, you know, last week, the first time they did it, they got a half a distance like they're doing now, and they went ahead and went from a 2-point conversion to a 2-point conversion from a PAT.
Boy, Coach Gonzalez kind of hovering around the 10-yard line on that far left sideline. Wants to make sure this is going to be done properly. Cayman Ochoa will hold. You know what, the kick anyway. It's up, and it is good. Inside the right upright is pouncing it through is Justin Allen. Well, the Wildcats hit the scoreboard first here on the road, 20 yards from Lovington. Or should I say 20 miles from Lovington as they lead 7-0. We'll take a 30-second break and come back with more Hobbs Eagle football on Cool 95.7, HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube, and Facebook on Cool 95.7's homepage. Power kick for the Wildcats. Eagles trail 7-0. The catch made at the 15. Fake to Starburst. Head up the middle to the 20. Zigzag. And a big pileup at the 26-yard line for the return man for the Eagles. And it'll be taking a second to unravel this pile. As Hobbs will have it about the 28-yard line. As the return man for the Eagles on that one was Saul Armendariz. He'll be in the backfield here momentarily. But he does come to the sideline. Actually, no, that might have been a Deshaun Franklin return man, one of the receivers for the Eagles. Hobbs will send 2 to the right side receiving core, 2 to the left. And we're back to live offensive action here. Owen Callaway, the quarterback here, first start of the season. Did score a touchdown last week with a 52-yarder to Saul Armendariz. Turns and fires the screen to come back route to the 25, to the 30, and stripped down at the 34. That's going to be about an 8-yard pickup on that far sideline. A little stretch pass out there. And the man coming up with that one for the Eagles, Zach Salcido, and he didn't get a lot of catches. He had no catches last week, but prior to that against Artesia, had 5. And they're going to give him 5 on that one. So Salcido getting back in the books now. First catch of the night for him for 5 yards. Eagles are now 3 of 4 in the passing game for 55 yards. Second down and 5 now from the 33. Still 7-0 Wildcats over the Eagles. 5:10 remaining first quarter. Hobbs going to stack 3 receivers right near the line of scrimmage, near the blocking zone, and 1 on the left. Man in motion right to left is going to be a fake handoff. Roll left. Here comes Callaway to the 30, stretching to the near left sideline to the 45, and gets bounced down by 2 defenders, both with shots to the chest that time. They might have put a new guy in there. No, it was Callaway. He got kind of crunched down there. Looked like his size had dropped a couple of inches, but his knees kind of buckled as he was kind of sandwiched between 2 defenders. We want to see where they're going to mark this at. They haven't moved. Oh, they're going to give him 5 on that one, so that will be a first down for Owen Callaway.
First down, Eagles. You know, it looked like he was trying to get around the side to get more real estate, but unfortunately ran out of it, was knocked out of bounds, like you said, by 2 defenders.
Hurry up offense. First down for the Eagles. First rush of the game for 5 total at the 37-yard line. Left hash, still in the Eagle territory. Stack the receivers 2 left. Another screen pass to the right side. Picked up at the 35 and hit hard at the 37 across the line of scrimmage. About a 2-yard pickup on the net gain from Jeremiah Hawkes. And, boy, he took a major blast on that far sideline on the right side as putting that helmet down right in the numbers was the defender for Lovington, DeMarcus Thompson, who plays both sides of the football. So Hawkes does get the catch, though. First catch of the game for the Eagles. And it's now second down and 8 from the 39-yard line. Eagles going to get their 2 receivers stacked together on the left side with 1 cornerback to guard him, 2 on the right. Going to go with the drop play up the middle. Armendariz 40, 45, 50. He can go all the way. 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown Eagles. That's going to be 61 yards for Saul Armendariz up the right hash. And he just breezed past and said goodbye to all the defenders out there. In for the touchdown. So Saul Armendariz getting on the scoreboard. Again, 61 yards on the run for the TD.
And it looked so easy to do it, too. Nice to see an early score So there's no doubt about the fact that the streak will continue to be 37 games now. And Hobbs is just needing some scores, needing some momentum to be able to keep going and hold their head up high.
And they're going to go at the kick here for the PAT, a sidewinder. It misses. Oh, it isn't. No, barely gets on the left upright. Looked like it was starting to veer off of that time. But Hobbs definitely had an opportunity to get that to tie it up, and they did. Boy, I hate those strobe lights going off so quickly. I mean, it's right before the play is done. Referees are kind of blinking up there at the crossbar to make sure that went over like it should have. 4:09 remaining, and the Eagles here in the first quarter have tied it up again. A 61-yard rushing touchdown for Saul Armendariz. And we got a knotted ball game here at Watson Stadium. Homecoming 2023 continues in 30 seconds. Seven ball game. Hobbs and Lovington here at Watson Stadium for homecoming for the Eagles. Teams are about 20 miles away from each other, of course. The Eagles here at the home stands. And here comes the kickoff. It's going to be a long one back to the 20, up the middle, coming around the left side of the 25, 30, 35, and down to the 38-yard line. The return man for the Wildcats is Jaden Gutierrez, the sophomore. Some more good field position for the blue and white. And have 4:04 to work with here in the first quarter, tied at 7. So pretty much a seesaw battle so far, Ron, but that's what you can expect with these two teams. There have been some blowouts throughout the years, about 29 shutout games, 21 for the Eagles, 8 for Lovington, but this one looks like it might go down to the wire.
Yeah, well, last week Santa Teresa actually was able to score on their second drive against this Lovington team, so they weren't able to do much after that, so you never know what's going to happen. But, yeah, it's definitely good to see Hobbs score as quickly as they did.
Yeah, Lovington up 35-7 in the first quarter last week. Shotgun to Gomez, rolling left to the 40, up to 45, 50, and puts his head down. That extra stretch might have got him the first down. Looks like 11, unless they put the knee back at the first down marker. Looks like they will make it 10 for Gomez. I'll make correction, that was a direct snap to Ochoa, so he gets the 10 yards. He's got a total now of 21 on 4 carries, about 5 a pop for the running back. And that will be 39 yards rushing for Lovington on 6 carries. 1st and 10 from the 50-yard line. That was the 5th first down for the blue and white. At the 49, actually. Single slot left, double receiver left, one receiver right. Rolling right is Gomez out of the shotgun. Heads to the near right sideline. Throws it on the run. A low out route. Ball is bobbled near the turf that time. Almost had connection, but couldn't get the grip on it. Marcus Henderson doing a drag route to the near right sideline, stretching it from the middle of the field to the right in front of the Hobbs Eagle bench. And he got his hands down there to the turf, but I think it knocked off some fingernails there.
Yeah, and he just felt, though, that he could have gotten it. He was holding his head up afterwards, saying, you know what, next time you got to do better on that one. And you know what, he might.
Gomez 4 of 6 in the passing game for 55 yards. The Eagles are 1 of 2 for 2 yards. And now a 2nd down and 10 for Lovington at their own 49. Their time with the Eagles at 7. Double receivers left, 2 to the right side. 4 in the box for the Eagles. Direct snap to Ochoa up the middle. 50, puts a zigzag down to the 45 and lunges ahead for a few more. And he's going to get about 2 or 3 shy of the first down on the middle of the football field.
Actually looks like it's very, very close.
Yeah.
They may have to measure it.
They kind of stretched the pile there at the end, and you're right, they might be close to the first here. At least 9 yards, we know that. They're going to say it's short, so Ochoa does get 9 on that play for 30 total. He has 5 rushes for 30, so 6 a pop. He's increasing his average as he moves along here. That was his 2nd largest run of the night, 10 and 9 now, and an 11, I should say, too, so 2 for double digits. Slot right, 2 receivers left, 1 to the right side. Shotgun to Gomez. Around the left into Ochoa, cuts it back to the middle, 40, and slide across the field. Slippery slide there, has enough for the first down. 6 yards for Ochoa. And Lovington's starting to show the running game a little bit here, Ron. That's the 6th rush for Ochoa in this contest for 36 yards. And a total of 8 carries so far for the Wildcats and just 4 passes. So they're doubling up in the running game. And we see that from Artesia year to year, too. Everybody expects the pass, which you're going to get the pass from Artesia. But the running game, they really like to key on early just to see what the Eagles are going to give them. Then they all of a sudden throw that long one.
It looks like Coach Gonzalez saw something in the film about Hobbs that says that, you know what, you can run this a lot and get some yardage, and so far he's been right.
That was the 7th first down. 1st and 10 for the Wildcats at the Eagle 36. Shotgun. Gomez are going to do a little pitch out right on the option. Trying to cut it back, but the Eagles are going to swipe that one down quickly as the cutback coming.
And a couple of Eagles hit him hard.
Yeah, coming in first to take the numbers out was Cameron Hernandez, the outside linebacker, as they pitched that ball out to the right that time for the Wildcats backer. That was Jaden Gutierrez, and looks like he might have fallen ahead for about 2 yards, and that's about it.
Exactly. It looks like they did mark him down for 2 yards, so 2nd and 8.
That ball will be at the 30, looks like 33.5-yard line. 1:22 remaining and ticking here in the first quarter. 7-7 your score. Doubles, make it twins right, receiver left. They have a slot left moving to the right side now. Shotgun to Gomez, handoff up the gut. Ochoa gets spun around and knocked forward. Looked like little rodeo action there as the Eagles slung him down. 3-yard pickup. Linebacking core is going to shut him down quick. Initial stop for the Eagles, and kind of wrapping up low on the weights that time, Cameron Hernandez. And that, again, I believe was the same carrier that we saw a second ago for the Wildcats, Gutierrez. So he's got another 2. Make it 3. It's going to be 3rd down and 5 now. He's got 2 carries for 5 yards as we talking about Gutierrez. 3rd down and 5 from the 30. Back in shotgun is Gomez. 1 step, 2 step, and dumps it left flat. Caught at the 30. No, it's fumbled out of the hands. He never got really contact with it. Now, he did a football move as he turned to the left, which is usually what the officials are looking for, but this ball was still being juggled in the air and could not come down with it for the Wildcats. That was DeMarcus Thompson, so incomplete. Thompson did have a 17-yarder earlier. And Lovington now 4 of 7 in the passing game, but they're now facing a 4th and 5. We saw this minutes ago on their last drive where they had a 4th and 5 a little bit closer towards the end zone. I just saw some more lightning back there in the horizon, south part of town. I hope that doesn't get in the range of a delay.
I know. And, yeah, they went back 5. They got 4th and 10 and were able to make that with a touchdown.
Trips right, receiver left, 4th and 5 from the Eagle 30, middle of the field here. As Gomez looks to his sideline, look at Coach Gonzalez. And Gomez is going to have to call the timeout as the field clock went down to 0. So they had to stop the chance for a flag there on the delay of game. Or did they have I was hoping the referee wasn't signaling for a lightning delay. Please don't let that happen. Right. 24 seconds left, first quarter. We're going to keep it right here at Watson Stadium. Ty Friend and Ron Gunner with you. And Ron, of course, getting ready for a game next week on the road at Rio Rancho. Of course, one of the more topper echelon teams in the same district as Cleveland, which is either a state champ or runner-up year after year. Of course, teams like La Cueva up in that side of the state as well. Some of the tougher teams down in our division, down in our, district, is Centennial, Las Cruces High, usually pretty dominant, but they were kind of down last year. But, again, Hobbs getting a chance to move up a little bit north, and one of probably the most traveled teams in the state of New Mexico, these Hobbs Eagles.
Yeah, definitely. We've got 2 in Las Cruces. We've got 1 in Rio Rancho next week, as you mentioned. And that one alone is pretty much most teams don't even go half that distance. And Hobbs gets to go up there all the way for a nice little game. But, yeah, definitely going to be road weary by the end of this season.
Of course, Hobbs a few years back went up there in a playoff contest. I can remember one of their coaches that's on the field down there was a couple of brothers. The Wilsons played in that tournament or playoff game there. Very cold stadium that day. With a victory, 2 on the road. 4th down and 5 for the Wildcats. So the Lovington squad has it at the Eagle 30. Trips right, receiver left. 4 in the front box for the Eagle defense. Gomez back with Ochoa waiting for the shotgun. He's going to stay in the pocket. 3-step drop. Going to chuck it. A low one on the far left side. And the ball is connected on the 8. If they're going to say the catch was made. Yes, a 22-yarder. And that will move the chains again for the Wildcats. 22 yards on that one. Coming up with the catch for the Wildcats, DeMarcus Thompson.
Yes, once again, he is a standout receiver for the Lovington Wildcats, and he has done some great things during this season so far.
Thompson with 2 catches for 39 yards. Now 5 of 8 are the Wildcats in the passing game, and that will end the first quarter. In the red zone, the Wildcats trying to get in the lead here as they are tied with the Eagles at Watson Stadium, 7-7. We'll take a 30-second break and come back with more Hobbs Eagle action on your Hobbs network here in No Mark Land. Wildcats looking for the end zone here. Start of the second quarter. Hobbs Eagle football with the homecoming game at Watson Stadium. 7-7 your score. Shotgun to Gomez. He'll hand it up the middle, and the Eagles going to close the gap quickly and put a stop behind the line of scrimmage. Looks like maybe back to the line, if that. You got to credit the Eagles getting in there quickly that time and slapping down the ball carrier. I believe that was Jaron Meredith, the defensive tackle, with the stop on the wrap-up. And it looks like Ochoa was the ball carrier that time, and they're going to say he lost a yard on the play, so went down behind the line of scrimmage. That's the second time that's happened to Ochoa. Now it's at the 11-yard line. Second down and goal from the 11. You got an I formation. Shotgun to Gomez, slapping his hands together. Gives it to the tailback and pulls it out. Rolls left, an option around the left end. 10-5, putting his head down and right out of bounds at the 2. As the ball was flipped out to Jaden Gutierrez at the left sideline. And he went from the 11 down to the 4, so 7 for Gutierrez. He's had 3 carries for 12 yards. Clock down to 11:18 left, second quarter. Ball at the 4, and a 7-7 ball game. Third down from the 4.5. It looked, no, actually it's at the 4 hash mark on the left side.
A nice quarterback option there for Lovington.
Twins left, receiver right. Split formation backfield as Gomez between 2 of his backers in the backfield. Claps his hands, 3-step drop. He's going to roll right, flushed out of the pocket, has some pressure on his backside to the right sideline, throws it into the end zone, right side, and is overthrown his receiver. Pass was intended for Cesar Gonzalez, and it goes outside the end zone on the right. He just wanted to get rid of the football. The initial pressure from behind that time, coming from the backside from left to right, was Oliver Hill, the defensive tackle. Of course, he's 315, but that kid is putting some big-time shoes down to the turf there and chugging hard to get after that quarterback and flush him out of the pocket to the right.
Yeah, Wyatt had a nice throw on that one. On the run, was able to get close, but no cigar, as they say, and another try for the Wildcats.
Lovington 5 of 9 in the passing game. They send 3 receivers right, 1 to the left side on a 4th down and goal from the 4.5. Gomez back in shotgun with Gutierrez. 2-step drop. Stays pocket. He's got pressure again. Gets spun around. He spins again to the left and is dropped to the backfield. Boy, talk about the man of the hour getting in again, Oliver Hill. He is crushing through. Gets some high fives and low fives from teammates on the near sideline. And that was going to be a loss, too, all the way back to where are they marking this at? The 11th, so a 7-yard loss. Some good defensive pressure penetration for the Eagles. Still waiting to see where the ball is going to be marked down at. Looks like the 11. So Gomez is the guy that had the ball, the quarterback, -7 on the play, and the Eagles going to get it back on downs for the first time tonight.
And they're not wasting any time on offense.
Yep, stopping a drive in the red zone, too. 2 receivers right on the close side in front of the Hobbs Eagle bench. Shotgun to Callaway, handoff up the middle. Armendariz lost the football, and there's a flag at the line of scrimmage. If that's against the Eagles, that will be decline in Lovington football. They recovered. The ball just got coughed up in the air forward, off the chest it looked like, of Saul Armendariz. And now we got a time here with the officials to talk about. The flag was thrown about the 8-yard line and close to the line of scrimmage. It might have sailed the flag a little bit there on the throw, but if it's against the Eagles, we got problems. Yes, it is. That will be declined, and that'll be Lovington football. So the Eagles now have a fumble, their first turnover of the game, and that's what we talked about in the pregame show. Definitely. Clean first quarter, Ron, but both coaches said we got to control the giveaways. And like Coach Stevens said, we got to get out of our own way sometimes. That time it was a problem.
Exactly. And you know what? It's going to be heartbreaking for the defense to come out after they already did a stop against this Lovington team. They're going to do it once again and do it in the red zone.
So a 2-yard pickup, and then the fumble forward gives it back to Lovington at the 15-yard line, middle of the field. They didn't score on their last drive in the red zone with this big stop, as you mentioned, Ron, but this time a little bit momentum after the turnover, the first of the ball game. At the 15, trips right, receiver left. Gomez will be by himself in the backfield. Does have a slot man on the right side. Strong count, tucks it and goes up the middle, tries to get the gap and slides his body forward, maybe about 3 on the play if he drug enough of it. And, boy, he was chopped down low at the knees that time, and coming up hobbled is Gabriel Corrales, the sophomore, up the gut. And they're going to give him 2, so the quarterback for the Eagles. Correction, I'm sorry, Ochoa, not the quarterback, the running back for Lovington with the 2-yard pickup. And he's right now got 8 carries at this point.
It looked like Kenyon Johnson was in on that tackle as well for the Hobbs Eagles.
30 yards on the ground for Ochoa so far. And we got a 2nd down and 8 for the Wildcats. Twins right, receiver left. Shotgun here for Gomez. 3-step drop behind the 20. Scampers right with the pressure. Tries to cut back up. Gets hit from behind and spun around. Still in the pile. And finally brought down at the 24. He's going to lose about 9 on that one. He got swat at by a couple of different players.
Yeah, he did not want to go down. He wasn't going down easy, and took about 3 players to get him down to the ground after just trying to fight it off.
Outside linebacker Tristan Davis, and guess who's in there again, Ron? Oliver Hill, the mountain of terror coming through that the line that time. And that's a loss of, looks like, let's see, 2, 7, 8 yards on that one for the quarterback.
Mm-hmm. So now it's 3rd down and 15.
He's been dropped twice behind the line of scrimmage for minus 15. As you mentioned, about 3rd, 16 or so from the 21 of the Eagles. Shotgun Gomez in the backfield by himself. Steps up pocket. Fade route to the far right sideline, but he gets loose with the football way before the receiver was up there. About 15 yards past him to the 5, and the receiver's still stuck at about the 15-yard line. So an errant throw as he tried to get it out. Gomez did over to, looks like Patrick Sanchez, or correction, Adonis Chavez, the sophomore, incomplete. Lovington is now 5 of 10 for 50% in the passing game for a total of 77 yards. And it's 4th down and 16.
Lovington has one more chance to capitalize on this turnover for Hobbs, and it's 4th and very long for them. So they got a big hill to climb.
Yeah, this is the 3rd time they've had a 4th down situation in the red zone against the Eagles. 4th and 15, shotgun Gomez. He'll send it to the left sideline, a drill, jump over the top. The receiver tries to come over the top of the defender. We got a flag flying, a helmet flying as well from the receiver. He got through 2 defenders and tried to go over the top from behind, put his hands down over the front numbers of the cornerback for the Eagles, and then a flag coming in late. The defender was Javen Hernandez, the DB. Boy, that just looked like 2 players from both teams just crashing. It was actually 1-on-2, the Lovington receiver and the 2 defenders.
Right.
Coach Stevens well out on the field. He's waiting to say, what can you call on that? No advantage. Both players had a chance to go up for the football and crashed. And there's a new the rule interpretation this year. A very big emphasis was don't penalize either player. Both are going up for a jump ball type of pass, and they clash either chests or helmets, whatever it might be, as long as somebody's not getting an unfair advantage there. But this looks like it's going to be against somebody because they're trying to point where it's going to be on the field in terms of the PI. And we've got referees getting together now. Does not look good for the Eagles at this point, being the defense on that pass play.
Correct.
That would be half the distance if it was against the Hobbs.
Yeah, in either case, they're trying to determine exactly. I think the helmet came off inadvertently.
Yeah, the helmet probably wasn't the issue because if you don't have it on attached properly, you have to leave the field for one play. So that definitely is going to go against Lovington. That's not a penalty, though. Boy, Stevens has 2 reps on his side now. Here on the left sideline, the Whitecap trying to explain to him what happened, and we're going to wait to see the signal. Still haven't got it yet. Long delay here as the Whitecap is kind of moving left, right, looking back to the middle of the field, trying to make sure the other refs have the spot correct. Yep, pass interference against the Eagles. That is half the distance, so let me see where the line of scrimmage was originally at the 24. So that should be about the 12-yard line. That's where they're marking it. So a PI against the Eagles, their 3rd penalty of the ball game, 27 yards total. And, Ron, that was a pretty close call to make on that one. I just saw clashing pads and nobody getting advantage. Just kind of a thrown-up ball there. It wasn't a high one. It was kind of towards about the shoulder height there, but just a bunch of crashing pads, which you want to see on contested plays like that.
Exactly. I mean, what do defense, what are you supposed to do other than just try to have them catch it? You're supposed to do what you did. Unfortunately, though, it went against them, but it's still 4th down, so not out of the woods just yet for Lovington.
4th down and 7 now from the Eagle 12-yard line. Twins right, receivers 2 to the left as well. Gomez back with Gutierrez on the right side. Bring a slot motion left to right. Now make it trips right. Rolling right, Gomez. Stops and fires to the corner of the end zone. A leaping catch at the back line. Did he get his feet in? Yes, he did. Touchdown. That's going to be a 12-yard reception. Boy, tiptoes at the back of the end zone in the right corner. And that will be a score.
Yes, indeed. And that was a nice one. It was targeted right to the back of the end zone. Was able to get in, like you said, put in his tippy toes, and it was the line judgment in the back went ahead and said, yes, that is a touchdown.
Trying to get the number on the receiver that time. Got caught in traffic. A bunch of guys jumping in front of him there. We'll try to get that number here momentarily. That's going to be 12 yards regardless for the touchdown. First score here of the second quarter. That will give a lead to the Wildcats by 6, pinning the PAT to make it 7. The ball is blocked, but it's kicked out to the left, running towards the goal line and putting his head down, and they're not going to get it, though. Don't know if it was blocked or maybe it was pitched out at the last second there before it was put down on the tee there. The man that was running towards the left goal line came on Ochoa, but they were stopped at the 1. Eagles put up a big defense on that one, heading to the left. So PAT could be no good on that one. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Hobbs trailing 13-7 to Lovington.
All right, we are back to Watson Stadium. Just had a score with 9 minutes to go in the second quarter, and the Wildcats did that score. It was a nice little play. Ty, tell us all about it.
Yeah, that was a big catch for Cesar Gonzalez, a 12-yarder, back of the end zone, tiptoeing on that right side back line from the pass from Gomez. That's the second passing touchdown for Gomez as he's completed another one as well earlier in the contest to Alec Holguin. And now the score 13-7. Ball was bobbled on the PAT. Maybe it was on purpose, but they went out around the left end, tried to dive towards the goal line, stopped at the 1 left of the end zone. No good. So 13-7 the score. 9 minutes remaining. Lovington up by the touchdown. And the Hobbs Eagles eager to return the football to get back in this one. Very close game, though, Ron. Both teams at 1 and 2. The ball drops at the 20 on the low kick. A little starburst action. Ball kept around the right end, might have been handed off there to the 30 as dragging a defender with them and down right at the 30-yard line. That's where they're going to stop on the play. And coming up with it for the Eagles off the starburst was Saul Armendariz. So not the worst field position around, but the Eagles trying to get something going here. Lovington scoring the first touchdown of this second quarter. Again, that was Gonzalez on a 12-yard catch. It's 13-7, favor of the Wildcats here on the road tonight.
You know, Wildcats come out here to play. Of course, we knew they would.
Eagle football at their own 30 on the right hash. Twins right, or make it left. 1 on the right side in front of the Hobbs Eagle bench, short side. Callaway gets a shotgun, handoff. And here goes Armendariz trying to angle right. I don't think he's even get back to line of scrimmage. Big pileup for the Wildcats. Getting the big body in the way that time for Lovington. Alex Rivera, the sophomore, just threw his body straight forward and bounced off the running back for the Eagles. Armendariz, he gets back to line of scrimmage. Luckily, though, no loss on the play. He did have a big 61-yarder for a touchdown earlier in the first quarter, the Eagles' first score of the game. He's got 3 carries for 63 now. Second down and 10 from the right. Hash on the 35. Make it the 30. Receiver left, 2 to the right, short side. Back to pass, Callaway, 2-step drop, throws the out route, near side, catch, Hawkins at the 39. Spin move and drop to the 44. He'll get a first down. That'll be 14 yards for Armendariz. Second pass completion for the Eagles. Or excuse, was that was Hawkes, I should say. His second catch. 16 total.
Cesar Gonzalez was in on the play along with Jaden Gutierrez.
The defenders for the Wildcats. 2 for 3 in the passing game now for Owen Callaway. 16 on receptions, 2 catches for Hawkes. And that is a first down, the second of the ball game. There's been 7 first downs for Lovington, much more sustained drives. 1st and 10 from the 44. Give it to Armendariz. Got caught in the middle and then gets dropped backwards. Got about to the 45 on the forward progress, and that will give him 1 yard. So now he's got 4 carries for 64. Of course, mostly the gift from the big 61-yard touchdown run that he had in the first quarter. Ball now at the 45 on the right hash. A 2nd down and 9 for the Eagles. They've got 4 in the front box with Lovington defense. Twins left receivers for the Eagles, and 2 to the right side, evened up. Shotgun to Callaway, and throws it down the middle or to the sideline there on the line of scrimmage. A major dart being thrown hard, well over the top of the head there of Justin Black. No chance to get up on the ladder that time. Incomplete. Hobbs now 2 of 4 in the passing game for 50% and 16 yards.
Would have been a nice gain if he would have gotten it, of course, like you said, just not tall enough.
Yeah, he threw it down the left sideline. And, of course, Callaway kind of throws sidewinders a lot, so sometimes those are kind of hard to pull down. But here come the Eagles once again to reset. 3rd and 9 from their 45-yard line. Callaway back in deep with Armendariz. 3-step drop, stays pocket. He gets ripped on the helmet, and he's backpedaling. He's got a couple people wrapping him up, and they will blow it dead as a bear hug being applied by Anson Marquez, the senior, as he got through. And Callaway danced away for a second, but not enough to get away from the complete rush that time. He's going to be dropped down for, it looks like, 7 yards, and that'll put the Eagles in a punt situation. And so not a lot going on except for that big 61-yard for Armendariz, a rush for a touchdown earlier. Callaway at -2, Hawkins -1, and Armendariz at 64 yards, the majority of the offense rushing. Hobbs was 16 in the passing game. Here's a 4th situation. They punted earlier in the first quarter. Good snap. The kick will be from the 26-yard line. And a backpedal, and they're going to call the fair catch at the 24. Is coming up with it. Kind of a dangerous catch, though, in traffic. Jaden Gutierrez with the snag there for the Wildcats. So 2nd punt of the ball game for the Eagles. And the Wildcats, who scored once here in the second with a 13-7 lead over the Eagles, have another possession. And right now it's kind of a bend-don't-break defense for both teams at this point.
Exactly. Don't make too many mistakes. Just do the fundamentals and go for it. And I don't know why they've got the 4th down marker up there. I don't think they noticed it yet, but still. Lovington doing so far so good.
Hobbs fans liking that, though.
Yes, I know.
1st down and 10 from the 25. Twins left, receiver right. Shotgun to Gomez, a low snap, hands it off, cutting left to the near sideline to the 25 and a back pedal. Going down for maybe a 1-yard gain because of his butt that time. Flat on the surface, came on Ochoa. And Ochoa's going to get 2 on that one.
Yeah, just a nice roll forward. Was able to get the forward progress on that.
39 yards so far for Ochoa. He's carried it 9 times. Actually going to give him Castro, the linebacker, is the one that came up to make the stop. They're going to give him actually 2 on the play. 2nd down and 8 now from the 27 of the Wildcats on the left hash. They lead by 6 with 5:48 and ticking here in the second quarter. We'll have an extended halftime, of course, the Hobbs Eagle Marching Band with the director, Mr. Cheney. So that's going to be an exciting show. I know some people are going to be watching that at home. Told me to make sure we have it turned up pretty loud here at the stadium. 2nd down and 8. Low snap to Gomez. He's going to roll right, throws it on the run to the far right sideline. Catch made at the 22, and coming across the 25. We have somersaulting and diving and bodies flying on that far right.
Now we got a player down, too, for Lovington.
One of the defenders went in the air that time and just put a shot on the receiver, and he went flipping up in the air acrobatically and fell forward maybe for a yard, but he's going to be flat on his back. I think that's the receiver. I don't think it was the defender that time.
He's a big guy either way.
We got all the athletic staff over there, trainers attending to him. It's hard to see flat on his back who that is on that far right sideline. 13-7's the score, 6-point lead, and Wildcat players over there right now kneeling down in semicircle around their injured Lovington Wildcat. Eagles have come to the near sideline. Looks like they're going to take a water break here as well. Lots of humidity out there tonight, and that's definitely going to sap the energy. Still trying to see the number here of our injured player. He's waving to the crowd to make sure, but he's limping pretty heavily.
Marcus Henderson looks like he is actually a key player for Lovington, so that could be a bit of a stinger there for him if he is hurt more than just a little bit.
Yeah, he's 6'3", 190, the tight end, or actually, tackle for the Lovington Wildcats. Plays also on the D side, too. 3rd down and 9. So they're going to give him a 1-yard progress on that one. That wasn't the actual receiver that made the catch. That was actually a lineman out there. So Maybe he was at the tight end position, so possibly he has listed as a tight end as well, but I don't think he had actually had a tight end number on at that point. So, yeah, he did. He had an 87, so we'll go ahead and give him that one. 1-yard pickup for Henderson. 3rd down and 9 from the 26. Low snap again to Gomez, able to scoop it out. He'll just sit back on his heel, throws it up high in the air. A catch made at the 48-yard line, high up with the back flattened out in the air. That will be a 1st down pickup.
Gabriel Henry was the one defending that, just could not get in front of the ball to make an interception.
That is a 30-yard pickup. Will be a 1st down, 8th of the game. Trying to see who that was as couldn't get the number on that one. We'll try to check that out there. It was a 30-yard pickup, though, for the Wildcats. As that will be their 6th completion on 11 attempts. They'll move it up to the 48. 9 first downs for the Wildcats, now at the Eagle 47. Trips right, receiver left, shotgun for Gomez. Taking some time on the snap count with 4:32 left in the half. Delay handoff around the right end. No, taken by the quarterback at the last second, pulled it out of the gut. And he gets put down in the backfield, though. He's going to lose about a yard. Big bear hug in the backfield by the Eagles. That's coming in there from the linebacking core was Cameron Hernandez to get the stop. -1 for the quarterback, Gomez.
Which would have been worse if he would have handed it off. Looked like it would have been about a 4-yard loss, because Hobbs was all over that running back and just didn't have the ball.
2nd down and 11 now from the Eagle 48-yard line. 4 minutes remaining ticking here in the 2nd quarter. 13-7 Lovington lead. It's been several years since the Wildcats have picked up a win against these Hobbs Eagles, and that's dating back to the COVID year, spring 2021. They beat the Eagles 28-25. Shotgun Gomez, hand out to the right side, and a slice move coming through. Man again for the Eagles. That's Cameron Hernandez. Nothing doing for the Wildcats, met in the backfield. And that's going to be, it looks like a 6-yard loss on that one, as that'll be a Cho being dropped in the backfield. And that's going to bring up a 3rd down and 17 for the Wildcats. Now on their side of the field, back at the 46-yard line on the right hash. So big yardage to pick up here. Have to get to the Eagle 37, which is about 15 or so yards. Make it 16.
And the fans here, of course, are very happy to see the Lovington Wildcats moving backwards this time instead of forward like they have been.
Not a lot of penalties so far. 3 for the Eagles for 27 yards and just 1 for the Wildcats at 10. Coach Gonzalez wants to discuss the game plan here and calls a timeout. 3 minutes left here in the 2nd quarter. It's Lovington 13, your Hobbs Eagles 7. We'll be back with you in 30 seconds on the Hobbs Eagle Network. We got a close game going on here at Watson Stadium. Hobbs trailing Lovington 13-7. As we had a timeout on the field, as Coach Gonzalez talking to his blue and white squad, predominantly white tonight on the away uniforms. Eagles in the black with the gold numbers. 3 minutes left in the half, a 6-point lead for the Wildcats as they're facing a 3rd down and about 16 at their own 46-yard line, but they've been backing up here on the last couple of plays. Twins left and right. Gomez back in shotgun for the Wildcats. Gets a good snap, 3-step drop, steps up pocket, fires it on the curl on the far sideline. Diving catch at the 41. And so they get about 13, make it 14 on that one. Gonzalez comes up with a catch. And that's going to be shy of the 1st down, though, by a couple of yards.
But more manageable than it has been in the past. Looks like it's going to be 4th and 3.
So actually they're just going to give him 13 on that one. That was Gonzalez's 2nd catch, 25 total for him. Wildcats are now 7 of 12 in the passing game. And now they got a 4th down, as you mentioned, about 3.5 yards or so to go. They got to get to the Eagle 37. 4 in the front. Everybody off the line this time. The Eagles standing on their feet. They brought up some linebackers too. Pass prevent, trips left, receiver right. Dump over to the right side, zigzag up the sideline, close to the 1st down. This could be closer. No, there's a little forward push after. It looked like they blew it dead, but they let it go for a second. and might be a first down. 4-yard pickup on that far side.
Yeah, it kind of looked like he either lost it or something happened, but it was close to the line of scrimmage, and then the next thing you know, the ball is about 2 yards closer or further out than it was before.
So they're going to give Ochoa 4 on that when he scampered into a pile. Then looked like he was wrapped up, but then I guess no whistle and jumped out to the outside right for the Lovington bench. And another player down, this time for the Eagles on that far sideline. That will be the 10th first down for the Wildcats compared to only 2. And talk about owning the clock in this first half. The Wildcats have done that so far, Ron.
Yeah, Jacob Diaz down, and yes, definitely you can clock management for Lovington has been working so far, and definitely something they have improved apparently over this season. They were struggling in the first 2 games. They got a really good game against Santa Teresa last week, and they're doing a pretty good job today as far as moving the ball and being able to control the clock.
You mentioned Jacob Diaz, the injured player. He's the DB for the Eagles. He's being helped off on his own, but he has a guy, one of the trainers with a hand on the back, but appears to be okay, just kind of walking that off. Check to see who that sub might have come in for on that one. That was a first down, though, for Lovington. They have 10 of those so far at the Eagle 34. Of course, Lovington wants to add some insurance points on the scoreboard as they lead just by 6. Missed the last PAT with the shank off to the left. Kind of want to run some clock here, too. They want to give the Eagles a chance to get the ball back. 2:36 remaining here in the second. 1st and 10 from the 34. Twins left, 2 receivers right. Fake the handoff, back to pass Gomez. Dump it in the right flat, caught at the 36. And banging ahead to the far right sideline across the 30. That's going to be a 6-yard pickup, depending on where the knee went down, though.
It's talking about a 5, but yes, definitely a good pickup for 2nd down.
Double checking who that was. It looked like appeared to be number 80. I don't see that on the lineup though. So I'm going to say 5 on that one. I'm actually going to go ahead and give that one to Aaron Marquez. 2nd down and 5 from the 29. Back to pass the out route to the first down marker. I think even more than that, 6 yards. Good fingertip control. Tiptoeing on the sideline far right. That was Gonzalez as he got 6. So they're starting to get a lot of receivers involved already. 8 have caught passes. And Gonzalez for 3 for 31 yards. That will be the 11th first down.
Yeah, well, Wyatt had over 300 yards last week. He's trying to do it again this week as well.
They've had 11 completions so far. 1st down and 10 from the 25. Make it the 24. Man in motion right to left. They don't give the handoff. Instead, Gomez heads up the middle with it. The quarterback gets a little gap and is able to fumble forward, at least the body fumbling forward, not the football, for about 4 yards. Maybe make it 5 on the forward progress there.
Well, looks like it is about 3 to 4 yards.
Coming up the gut to make the stop was Kenyon Johnson, the defensive end, 6'4", 235, big body out there, and putting the physicality on the line. That will be a 3-yard pickup for Gomez. That was his 6th carry of the game. Back to pass, 3-step drop out of the shotgun, rolling right to the far sideline. He's going to stop and throw. The ball's batted to the Lovington bench. Big paw went up in the air that time, swatting at the football. There was a couple of guys over there for the Eagles. And the one that got the mitt on the football and knocked it volleyball style, spiking it to the sideline, was Kenyon Johnson again. And I know they got a club volleyball team now for the Hobbs boys, and I guess he needs to sign up for that, although I think they're playing just the same season time as the football team. Although I think somebody did tell me they have a spring season as well, but he definitely is going to be a candidate for that. But he loves football right now. Exactly. Incomplete pass on that one on the swat. That'll be a 3rd down and 7 now for the Wildcats at their Eagle 22. Trips left, receivers 2 to the right side. Gomez by himself out of the shotgun. 2-step drop, throws the slant route. Catch at the 16, breaking a tackle to the 10, out of bounds. That'll be a first down pickup plus. That's about 10 yards that time.
Yep, that's for Gonzalez once again.
Yep, Gonzalez is the man with that one. He gets 10. That'll be his 4th catch for 41 yards, so 10 plus on each of them. That's another first down. 12 first downs so far for the Wildcats. They won't get another chance for one in this series as they're now at the Eagle 8-yard line. 1:06 remaining. He did get out of bounds to stop the clock. Trips left. 2 receivers to the right side. Shotgun Gomez by himself. Goes a quick screen to the left. Caught at the 12. Heading outside to the left to the 5. Putting his head down. Dives over the pylon for the touchdown. That's going to be a 9-yard run after the screen. And into the end zone for the Lovington Wildcats. Converting is Kamon Ochoa. So he's going to get, they're going to say 8 on that one. Ochoa with a little screen pass. Into the end zone for the touchdown.
That'll be interesting to see if they go for the 2 to make up that PAT earlier, or are they just going to go for the PAT?
I don't see any T down on the field. Those little black rubber boxes there. And nope, they're going to go for the 2, as you said, to make it up. Twins right, 2 to the left side of the receiving core. Gomez will back it up there with 1 man to block for him. He's looking at some play booklets here as puts it back in his backside. Taking a long snap count, man in motion from right to left. Fake the tailback, then cut up the middle, zigzagging through traffic, heading right, and is piled down at the 2-yard line. Eagles sniffed that one out real well. Not going to be faked out as Gomez wanted a chance to score himself on the 2-point conversion, and was a big black and gold pile that time. And trying to see who the man was that came out of the bottom of that. That's one of the linebackers for the Eagles. Gustavo Diaz Castro is the man that gets the initial lick on the quarterback Gomez. So no good on the play. We'll take a 30-second break, but the Wildcats have extended their lead to 12. Lead the Eagles 19-7. We're back in half a minute. Lovington Wildcats lead here in the Eagles homecoming at Watson Stadium, 19-7. Home crowd a little bit quiet right now. I want to see some energy going here on the kick return. Hobbs did get a touchdown in the first quarter, 61-yard run for Armendariz. Holguin scoring on a 21-yard pass for Lovington in the first. 2 touchdowns in the second. Gonzalez a 12-yard pass, and Ochoa off a screen from 8 yards for the 2 scores. Kickoff is coming. The Eagles been doing the starburst. Kick on the run. Caught at the 15, starburst handoff around the right side of the 20, 25, cut up to the 30, hurdling, spitting. Hawkins tries to chug it, and he's down at the 32. He's brought down to the turf for the Wildcats by Kyler Reeves, and the Eagles will have the ball about the 32-yard line with just 54 seconds left. A lot of stuff's going to have to be thrown to the sideline to get out of bounds and stop the clock, Ron.
Well, they also have a couple of, they have all 3 of their timeouts, if I remember correctly. But yes, they're going to want to preserve those timeouts, see if they get those sideline passes, and then after a while, if they have to, then they'll go up the middle and see if they can get some big gains to timeout.
33-yard line, right hash for the Eagles on their side of the field. Down by 12 with 54 seconds left here in the first half. Twins left, 2 receivers right on the short side. Shotgun, Callaway the handoff up the gut. Armendariz trying to find some gaps there. Heads right to the sideline, but he's going to be put down inside the side stripe to the 40. And that's going to be about 6 for Armendariz. 6 yards for him. And that will be just his 5th carry of the ball game for 70 yards. Second down and make that 3 now. He gave him 7. Shotgun again to Callaway. Fakes the handoff. Stays pocket. Sends it down the right sideline over the shoulder, but just overthrows the receiver by about 2 yards. Up that near sideline was Zach Salcido. Had his man beat by about 3. Just kind of reached his hand up in front of him and overthrows, does Callaway. Cesar Gonzalez, the man that was beat, the cornerback here in the secondary, and that would have been a touchdown in stride, just a little shorter, about 3 yards shorter, and he was gone.
Yep, a 60-yard pass would have been a touchdown. Again, like you said, he would have been able to catch it in stride. He definitely would have been all the way into the end zone.
Eagles have only had 9 plays, 2 of those for pass receptions. They're 2 of 5 in the passing game. 3rd down and 3 for the Eagles. Shotgun. Callaway going to give it to the tailback. It's fumbled in the backfield. Callaway has to scoop it up, and he goes down at the 34. He's going to lose 5 on that one, but he did a good job of recovering, but that's going to put the Eagles in a punt situation.
And you got about 20 seconds left. You know, they don't actually have to punt if they don't want to, because there's not enough time on the clock.
No reason. You don't want to punt in this situation, having a run back. You're definitely right on that. So they're going to just look at the sideline and let the clock run out. Not the way the Eagles wanted to end this half.
No.
And a big discussion going to come in at halftime about how are we going to get back to get this crowd into the game. We're trailing Lovington, who's on the road. They're up by 12. 19-7, the Wildcats lead the Eagles. We're going to take an extended halftime break. We've got the show that you've been waiting for. The Hobbs Eagle Marching Band. Mr. Cheney's going to bring the crew in here. We'll try to keep the music up as much as we can so you can check the show out if you're listening. I know a couple people want to be tuning into this halftime show, so we'll take a break. Again, Lovington 19, Hobbs 7, back in 4 minutes. Welcome to halftime. It's the homecoming court being announced here. We haven't had the announcement of the winner yet for Queen and King, but I'm sure that's coming here pretty quickly. Pretty long, extended halftime. We still have the Hobbs Eagle Marching Band. Mr. Cheney will be directing that here shortly. They got all the band students out there on the field getting ready as we get finishing up the coronation here. Ty friend Ron Gunner, Evie Stuber with you. It's 19-7, so they're Wilmington Wildcats kind of raining on the Eagles parade at this point, Ron.
Oh, yeah, absolutely they are. And you knew they would. They didn't want to come in here and just roll over. We knew that wasn't going to happen. But instead, They're coming out here. They got the first half score, and we're hoping that because Hobbs has a better second half than they have been in the past, that they'll get back on track and be able to get back into the plus side on this game.
Yeah, I was trying to get my headset off there to get the announcement of the winner, and, of course, couldn't hear that. So we'll have to get the relay up here to the booth of who the winners are. Let me see if we can hear the second one. As we get quiet for just a second. That got jumbled up. Oh, there it is. Omari Patton is the king. They got the picture up on the scoreboard to help us out here. Unfortunately, we missed the homecoming queen, which is probably where most people are waiting for. But Omari Patton is the homecoming king. And let's see if they can put both of those back up there for us.
If not, we'll have to run down the hall.
Okay, well, you watch that scoreboard there. Stare at it for 10 seconds or so, as long as it takes to get the homecoming queen. And we write down Omari Patton because I know people will be tuning in later to find out what's going on. And homecoming 2023 continues. We'll have the Hobbs High Marching Band, and we might do a little something different tonight. Maybe we can possibly give them some time on the air and let the marching band play. Real quickly, just to run down some of the numbers of this game, then we'll get that on for you here momentarily. The leading rusher so far for the Lovington Wildcats is Kaman Ochoa. He's got 11 carries for 37 yards. The quarterback, Wyatt Gomez, 6 for 5. And also rushing it 3 times, Jaden Gutierrez for 12. So 20 carries and 54 yards in the first half for the Lovington Wildcats. They've got so many people involved in the passing game. 9 different receivers have had catches in this game, and a lot of them just with one. But the leader in terms of number of catches so far in the first half has been Cesar Gonzalez, 4 for 41. He had a touchdown catch at 12, a couple others for double digits, 13 and 10. So he's the leader in terms of yards and numbers of catches. Thompson has 2 for 39. Those are the only 2 guys with multiples. Ochoa has 1 for 8. Rivero has 1 for 12 as we continue down the list. Also, it was Alec Holguin finished up with 1 for 21. Bunch of guys involved here. Jaden Gutierrez has a catch for 5. Big man tight end. Marcus Henderson, who went down injured in the late part of the second quarter, had a catch for 1 just off the line of scrimmage. Kyler Reeves, a catch for 30. And last but not least, Anson Marquez had 1 for 5. So 13 receptions out of a total of 18 attempts for 162. Lovington Wildcats have 216 yards in the first half, 1 penalty for 10, and 1 turnover on downs. And a big number, turns of possessions, 12 first downs. They continue to move the football down the field for much of that first half. Eagles really didn't have many plays to answer. They had 33 plays in the first half, just 11 for the Eagles as well. Hobbs running game in the first half, not much going on. 9 carries for 63, but 61 of those off a one run by Armandaris for a touchdown. And so most everybody else has had the ball. Hawkins and Callaway have been minus in the first half. Armandaris 5 for 71. In terms of the passing game, only 2 completions. Those to Hawkins for 2 and 14 yards. He has 16 total. So Hobbs with only 11 plays and 79 yards compared to 216 yards for the Lovington Wildcats. Hobbs 2 of 5 in the passing game for 40%, 3 penalties for 27 total, 2 punts and a fumble, the only turnover of the ball game. And again, the first downs definitely in the pocket of the Wildcats, 12 compared to 2. So those are the numbers of the first half. Definitely a big deficit with the difference of 79 to 216, and of course in the yardage, and the scoreboard reading 19-7. We got the Hobbs Eagle Marching Band out on the field as they're getting ready to do their halftime presentation. We're going to try to get our microphone up the best we can here and see if we can give you some of the action as Ron will get the band in motion here. It's under Mr. Cheney, and this is Homecoming 2023. We're still going to work on that queen to make sure we get that right name out there. If you just joined us, Amari Patton was named the Hobbs Homecoming King. As we'll get this microphone on the field for you right now.
Sanchez, along with Adam Bryant, Alan Martinez, and Roxy Sanchez. Kindergarten instructor, Mike Danui. Drill majors, Giselle Manes, Regan Corral, Tiara Otosco Ruiz, Joey Moore, Angie Cruz. Is your band ready? ready to experience this year's incredible performance of Danza de la Rosa. Hobbs, make some noise for the biggest, loudest marching band in New Mexico. It's time to welcome your hometown Hobbs High School Eagle Marching Band.
That was the Hobbs High Marching Band as they are leaving the field. We've got about 3 minutes to go, or actually we got about a little more, 6 minutes to go right now. So let's go ahead and take a 3-minute break. We'll be back on the Hobbs Eagle Network along with Cool 95.7.
Here at halftime at Watson Stadium, Ty friend Ron Gunner with you. Evie Stuber back at the station. Hobbs Eagle homecoming football versus the Lovington Wildcats. Lovington up 19-7. We went through the stats right before the big marching band presentation here at halftime. And real quickly, just to wrap those numbers up for you one more time, Lovington has 216 yards, 54 in the ground, 162 in the air. Hobbs with just 79, 63 on the ground, and 16 in the air. Lovington's completed 13 of 18 passes, and Hobbs 2 of 5 in the first half. Eagles have punted twice and had a fumble, and the Wildcats have turned over on downs once. Penalties 3 for 27 for the Eagles, 1 for 10 for Lovington. 12 first downs for the Wildcats, which is a pretty glaring stat there compared to just 2 for the Eagles. A lot of sustained drives. I think there were 3 in the red zone there we saw for the Wildcats in the first half, Ron. So definitely something the Eagles are going to have to do in terms of keeping them moving down the field. They got to, get to kind of put some pressure on the football, too, to kind of get them out of there. Oliver Hill and a couple other guys have been getting through, but still giving the outside look there for the quarterback Gomez to get outside and still do something with the football. Let's take a look at our sponsors for Hobbs Eagle football this season. Again, with us from game 1 throughout the rest of the season and into the playoffs.
Yes, indeed. We're going to thank Eastern Mexico University, Devon Energy, NMR Pipeline, Lee County State Bank, TDS, Forest Tire, Air Tech, Air Conditioning and Heating, along with Lasco Construction, First American Bank of Hobbs, and Divine Energy Services. Thank you very much.
So we're still getting the teams out here with their little warm-up periods coming down to 0, and we're ready for the second half. As we looked at some of the numbers of the teams here just a second ago, but leading rushers so far, Ochoa with 37 yards for the Lovington Wildcats. And for the Hobbs Eagles, it's Armendariz with 71 on 5 carries, including the 61-yard touchdown run in the first quarter. The top pass receiver we mentioned earlier for the Lovington Wildcats with a total of 4 catches for 41 yards was Cesar Gonzalez. And also Thompson, DeMarcus Thompson, had 2 catches for 39 in the first half. And plus it was Kyler Reeves had a catch for 30. For the Hobbs Eagles, both receptions by one player, and that is Jaquez, Jeremiah Jaquez. So that's pretty much kind of a low number totals for the Hobbs Eagles offensively in that first half. The first score of the game, Holguin had a 21-yard reception for the Wildcats, 7-0. Hobbs tied it up with a 61-yard run with 4 minutes left in the first quarter to make it 7-7 after Armendariz ran it up the field. Then it was Gonzalez, a 12-yard catch from Gomez, made it 13-7, missed PAT. And Ochoa getting his first touchdown, an 8-yard screen pass to 19-7 score. They tried to, I'm not sure if it was a bobbled snap that couldn't be held down or they did that on purpose, but they missed by about a 2-yard. They went down about the 1.5 to 2 yard line on the left side. Hobbs stopping that PAT. But still a 12-point lead for the Wildcats, and this is going to be a real big momentum check right here, Ron. If the Hobbs Eagles, we can see if there's some energy there to try to get their home crowd into this game. This is their game. It's homecoming.
Exactly.
You don't want to lose to a team that's 20 miles away from you, wearing a different color than you do, blue and white.
Exactly, and it's always the same thing. Eagles, if they went 1-9 on this season, all they want to do is just win against Lovington. Of course, they don't want to do that either, but still, you know what I mean. This is a pride thing, and it's definitely something that Hobbs wants to win. They won the last 2. They lost 2 before that, so they want to get back in the winning column as far as 3 in a row. They did that against Clovis not that long ago this season. And they want to continue the winning streak against Lovington, definitely. Lovington always has a strong schedule at the beginning of their season, so that way when they get to the end of their season and they know exactly how to play. Hobbs pretty much has the same thing going. They have a strong season, and they want to get some wins and definitely want to see if they can test their players, and I think they've already done that. Also want to give a quick shout-out to the guy who's listening in Oklahoma City. Thank you very much for listening, as well as everybody else is as well.
57-26 was the score last year. The Hobbs Eagles winning by 31 points. In fact, halftime, they were up 36-12. Lovington did not have a double-digit quarter until the fourth, where they outscored the Eagles 14-7, but Hobbs got the second half 21-14 overall. Again, the 31-point victory in that one. Argot threw for 253 yards, the quarterback Omar Argot from last year. Our starting quarterback tonight, who was the JV starter, Owen Callaway, did not get in that game against the Lovington Wildcats. In terms of the rushing yardage, Argot was the top rusher, too. 7 carries, 116 yards in the contest. Diego Baeza had 69, and Saul Armendariz stepped up pretty big last year, underclassman, with 3 carries and 54 yards. He had 2 touchdowns out of the 5 rushing touchdowns the Eagles got in that victory. In terms of receivers, a whole slew of people catching passes. Jaquez had 4 for 68. Of course, he's back this year, a long of 23 in that game. It was Van Landingham with 3 for 51, Ortega 3 for 70, and Trevino 2 for 58. So lots of guys getting involved with that one, a big 31-point win. But right now, Hobbs having to dig out of a 12-point deficit, and they've got to kick off. So Lovington is hungry to try to extend clock management and the scoreboard. Here comes the kick. It's a deep one back to the 20. Caught, brought across the 25 up the middle. Sling it over to the left side to the 28. There's a flag. Looks like a legal block. And getting knocked out of bounds hard from behind Zadrick Betancourt as he got a shot in the back of his shoulder blades there by Carlos Jimenez for the Eagles. But the flag back at the 26, probably where the blocking violation is going to be taking place. There's only been 1 penalty against the Wildcats in the first half for 10 yards. This might be their second here, just judging where it was at about the 26-yard line. Ball came out to the left sideline in front of the Hobbs Eagle bench.
Here comes the call.
We got the illegal block. 10-yard penalty, second time tonight for the Wildcats, 2 for 20 in this ball game. So they're going to back it up. It should be about the 16 if they go back the complete 10 yards there. Just underway here in the second half, third quarter, 19-7 Lovington. We mentioned in the pregame show the series records with these two teams. Hobbs with the 54 wins, 28 losses, 15-6 since 2000. So definitely do not want to lose one here. The last win for Lovington 2021 in the spring season when they had COVID kind of messing up everything. Trips right, receiver left at the 16. Shotgun for Gomez. Delay handoff coming around the right end as Ochoa heads outside the 15-20. Hurdles a player and gets to the 26. 11 yards on the pickup there. Coming up to make the stop for the Eagles to make sure he didn't extend it for more was Cameron Hernandez, the linebacker. So Ochoa with the 11 yards. He's got 12 carries for 48 total now. And that's the total of 65 on the ground for the Wildcats here in the ball game. 1st and 10 will make it the 13th first down of the ball game for the Wildcats. 1st and 10 from their own 26-yard line. That's where they returned the ball to on the kickoff, but then the penalty brought him back on the illegal block. Trips right, receiver left. Choa gets the fake handoff. Around the right end comes Gomez. 30, tucks it like a breadbasket there to the 32, and has another 7. So Gomez, the quarterback, 7 carries for 12. Make it 6 on that one instead of 7.
And Lovington making it look pretty easy to run the ball so far against this Hobbs Eagles defense. Line needs to tighten up a little bit and slow down this run game.
We talked about the key in the first half, at the beginning of the game, but Coach Stevens said don't leave the defense out on the field too long. That definitely did happen in the first half. 2nd down and 4 from the 31. Shotgun to Gomez, handoff around the left end, cutting it back to the middle with Choa. He's met with the helmet and the numbers in the front chest plate that time. What a great takedown there for the Eagles. Not messing around whatsoever. That's coming across the line of scrimmage hard that time.
Zayden McPherson was one of them.
And another linebacker, Tristan Davis, too. And I don't know, maybe a yard they're going to give that one that time to Ochoa. He's lucky to get the forward progress.
Definitely.
13 for 49 now for Ochoa. 3rd down and 3 for the Wildcats at their own 32 in the middle of the field. 10 minutes left, 3rd quarter. Lovington up 19-7. Twins left, trips right, a man in motion coming to the left side to make it trips. 3-step drop for Gomez. Little curl route at the 40. Catch is made. That'll be enough for the first down and then some. And that's going to be 8 yards on the pickup on the catch on the curl route. That's Gonzalez. Cesar Gonzalez gets the 8. And for him, that's going to be his 5th catch for 49 yards. 14 receptions out of 19 attempts for Gomez, the quarterback, and a first down. That is number 14. They've already got 2 here in the 3rd quarter at the 41 on the right hash. Lovington still with the ball on their side of the field. Trips right, receiver left. Gomez back in shotgun. Fakes the handoff to Ochoa, stays pocket, fires down the middle on the drag at the 45 of the Eagles, and then spun around and put down at the 42. Make it 18 yards on the catch there. As coming up with it is Gonzalez. Gonzalez now with 2 catches in the second half. He's got 67 overall on 6 receptions. 15th completion for Lovington on a total of 20 attempts. So Gomez starting to string it out here, Ron.
Carlos Jimenez with the stop was the single tackler on that one, but not enough, not before he got the first down.
Yeah, 15 first downs compared to just 2 for the Eagles, and Lovington keeping that clock moving. Trips left, receiver right at the Eagle, 41 left hash. Gomez fakes the handoff. He's going to sling it to the left sideline over the shoulder. Nice snag at the 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown. Went over the top of 2 defenders that time. That's a 41-yard reception. Right up on the Hobbs Eagles sideline left side. Boy, talk about some great determination there. And I believe that again was Cesar Gonzalez. 41 yards up the left sideline. He just came back, reached over the top of the shoulder pads, and pulled that one in.
Yeah, it was just a quick strike for the Wildcats.
Actually, that might not be him. I think it was Wyatt. No, that was Gomez that threw to Gonzalez. I see Gomez looked like he was the one that scored as he putting the fist in the air, but boy, Gonzalez is starting to rack him up. 41 yards, has had 3 catches here in the 3rd quarter alone for 67. The kick is up, and the kick is put through by the Wildcats. So they've extended their lead to 19 now. 8:24 left, 3rd quarter. Lovington 26, your Eagles 7. We'll be back in 30 seconds on the Hobbs Eagle Network. Your Hobbs Eagles trailing Lovington 26-7 here in the third quarter. 8:24 remaining after a 41-yard pass from Gomez to Gonzalez for the Wildcats. They're kicking off again. Hobbs will get the catch at the 10 with the starburst. They'll hand it off to the set man. He's coming around the left side to the 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, and run out of bounds. No, he keeps into the 46, and then the ball comes out late. They're not going to give that back to Lovington, are they? I think they got him down dead here before the pickup on the fumble. Luckily for that one, it's going to be Hobbs football with some great field position off the starburst.
Absolutely close, but he was down by contact before the ball came out.
Hobbs doing the starburst that time, and I believe the man that came around for that run was Tristan Davis, but that'll be at the 42-yard line. Eagles with some great field position, but I got to get some offense going here. Just 79 yards in the first half. They'll have it at the 47. 1st and 10, same side of the field for them now. Double stack, Twins left on both sides, right as well. Hand off to the left side. Armendariz is met on the left hash and picks up a wall and is shoved in the chest to knock him backwards. That's Elon Clayton, the defender, to get a piece of Armendariz, and he does get forward progress for 1 yard. So that will be the 6th carry for 72 total. Right now, Armendariz has 72 of the 80 yards rushing for the Hobbs Eagles right now. Out of 3 carriers, 2 in the negatives, and he's the only positive, and that includes a 61-yard touchdown run in the first quarter. 2nd down and 9 from the 48. Twins right and left. Long delay here is Owen Callaway, the quarterback tonight, the starter. 2-step drop, steps up, fires in the pocket, fires in the far sideline. A seam route, hits the turf at the 20, and almost near the ankles of the intended receiver for the Hobbs Eagles, in stride with his defender on that far left side. That was Deshaun Franklin, incomplete, and had some good defense with him, shoulder-to-shoulder pad that time on back deep as he was heading down the field. Callaway throwing a little sidearm that time and trying to kind of lead his receiver, but a little bit low on the pass. Had some good defense out by the cornerback, Jaden Gutierrez, on that far right sideline, incomplete.
Yeah, if it was completed, it would have been a great first down, plus possibly even a touchdown if he would have caught it in stride.
Eagles 2 for 6 for 16 yards in this game. 3rd down and 9 from the 48. Twins left and right, bring a man in motion. Left to right, fake the handoff to Hawkes. They're going to screen it out to Hawkes right side. Heads across the 50, 45, 40, and dives ahead for the first down. And that's going to be, looks like, we'll see what's going to mark this, maybe 17 yards. Actually, the ball carrier that time was Deshaun Franklin, so he'll get 17 as he came around from left to right. That's going to be his first carry of the ball game and the 3rd first down of the contest. That is the longest run, except for Armendariz's 61-yard touchdown in the first quarter. 1st and 10 now from the 47 of the Wildcats. Shotgun, Callaway with the pump fake. He's going to let it loose on the right sideline. Bounces off the shoulder pads, and then losing it in the air, not seeing where the ball was Jeremiah Hawkes. He got through the 2 defenders on this far right sideline. Got past him. The ball ricochets off somebody's shoulder pads, went straight in the air, but then Hawkes was past the defenders and then kind of spun in a circle, didn't know where the ball was, and it dropped right in front of him. And he would have been able to get that ricochet. He'd have been gone for about 15 more yards for the touchdown. Incomplete, though.
Yeah, but we do have possibly an injury.
Yeah, kind of limping right now is Jaden Gutierrez, one of the corners on the play. There was a double team against Franklin. Incomplete pass, 2 for 7 now, the Eagles. And a 2nd down and 10 from the Lovington 37-yard line. Clock down to 7:08 remaining, 3rd quarter. Hobbs down 26-7 to Lovington. Both teams came in with a 1-2 record. Hobbs with the win over Clovis, losing to Artesia and Roswell. And, of course, the first win of the season for the Wildcats last week at Santa Teresa, a big Mercy Rule victory on the road. Everybody back on the field now after the injured player leaves. Jaden Gutierrez, 2nd and 10 from the 37. Eagles on the right hash. Twins right and left. Clapping his hands is Callaway, back to pass from the 45. Scampering, throws it down the middle, and the post route caught at the 15, and Salcedo down to the 10. So that's going to be a 30, let's see, from the 37 all the way down to the 11, 26 yards. So finally another receiver is getting in the books for the Eagles as Salcedo with the big catch. And a first down. That's the 4th of the ball game. 3rd reception out of 8 attempts for the Eagles.
Yeah, finally a great reception for the Eagles.
At the 12-yard line, 1st and 10. They can still get a first down. Handoff with the middle. Armendariz sliding through as he gets to the 8. Make it the 7 from the 12. So a 5-yard pickup for Armendariz. Armendariz now with 77 yards in the game on 7 carries. And the workhorse on the team, 2nd down and 5 now. From the 7-yard line, need to get to the 2 for another first. Hobbs just wants to get in the end zone and try to get back in this game down by 19. Twins left and right. They'll bring Hawkes in motion right to left. High snap, fake the handoff to him. Now pass it out to the left side to Hawkes on the screen. 10-5, trying to stretch it out. And he gets a rip down from behind, and he falls forward shy of the first down. Maybe another 4, maybe 3 on that far left side.
It's going to be close, it looks like, depending on where they get the mark.
He was brought down by the shoulder pads by Kyler Reeves. And where they give him on that one? Looks like he's got 1 yard short. What was it, 4 on that?
6.
Or 6, excuse me. That's correct. Hawkes now has first positive carry, second, 2 carries for 5. And they shotgun snap to Callaway. He dives forward across the goal line. Do they call him for the progress for the touchdown? Yes. I believe they did. They turned those strobe lights on. You can't even see anything. There's a flag flying, too. How can you even see what's going on down there? Wow.
So maybe premature on that celebration.
They have to wait on those strobe lights because they just had a flag flying after the black lights went on. And you couldn't even see anything down there. And Owen Callaway does score the 3-yard touchdown run for the Hobbs Eagles to get their second score of the ball game. We're going to have to wait and see. Unsportsmanlike conduct would mean that, Coach Stevens out of the field. He's not a happy camper. They called on the Eagles. That will be administered after the play, though, so that will be a kickoff situation, 15-yarder. But Callaway with the 2-yard, making the 3-yard touchdown run. So Callaway threw for a touchdown last week, a 52-yarder to Armendariz, and this week has a rushing touchdown. Only the starter on this game, though. Callaway's going to come out, and he got hit pretty hard on the ground there and popped up, and then we had some bodies flying, some flags flying, but the strobe lights going out way too quickly. They got to let the play get all the way to the end so people can make sure what the play is down on the field, the referees. Wait for the PAT. They're going to fake it, rolling out right, the throw to the right corner of the end zone for the touchdown. And the recipient for the catch was Saul Armendariz. Here come the strobe lights again. I'm thinking they might have put Beatty in there that time because they did bring Callaway to the sideline before the PAT started. So count the 2-point conversion, and the Hobbs Eagles finally on the scoreboard here in the second half. They trail 26-15. We'll be back in 30 seconds on the Hobbs Eagle Network. Welcome back to Watson Stadium. The Eagle fans are starting to come back alive here with the homecoming going on in Watson. Eagles now trail 26-15 thanks to a 2-yard touchdown run for the quarterback, Owen Callaway. 2-point conversion pass to Armendariz, an 11-point deficit, but still a little bit of a hole to dig out of, though, Ron, but you can see some life out there for the Eagles.
Yeah, but they have a 10-yard penalty to do now.
15.
15-yard, yeah. And so you got to kick it pretty deep. Otherwise, Lovington's going to have great field position.
4 penalties, 42 yards. They had an unsportsmanlike conduct right after the scoring touchdown. So they're kicking it from the 25. Beatty's going to kick it off. That's the younger brother, Beatty. Kicks it to the far right sideline, scooped up on the run, 35, 40, 45. Might be a face mask on that far side. It looked like the helmet got spun around. I don't see a flag flying, so I better keep my mouth quiet here. That's a Hogs Eagles. That's a nice little combination of animals there.
Yes.
That's what you want to call your defense, the Hogs Eagles.
Yeah, that'd just be like a Redskin thing.
Oh, you can't say that anymore. Commanders, Ron. Commanders.
Right.
At the right hash on the 45-yard line, the Lovington Wildcats have very good field position. They lead by 11 with 5:09 left, third quarter. Gomez back in shotgun. Has Ochoa behind him, directly behind him now. Trips left, one receiver right. As Gomez takes his time, catching his breath here. 4 in the front line for the Eagles. Good snap. Shoves it in Ochoa's gut, then pulls it out around the left end. Goes Gomez, gets his knee swept from behind, and stumbles ahead for a couple of yards. Nice job of taking a big swing at the knee was Gabe Henry. Made some contact and only gave up a 2-yard pickup there to Gomez.
Yeah, that was definitely a good effort for Lovington. Again, though, they're moving the ball. They were having some trouble in the first half with third downs, but they were doing it on fourth down, so it didn't matter as much.
8 carries for 13 yards for the quarterback Gomez. It'll be a 2nd down and 8 now from the Eagle 48-yard line. In the middle of the field, trips left, receivers to the right. They bring a man in motion to the right side to make it trips there. Shotgun to Gomez by himself. Throws the out route, but receiver went inside. Had some good pressure on him as the linebacker picked him up. The throw was outside of the sideline, so some miscommunication there. But you got to get some credit to the good coverage there by Tristan Davis to pick up that inside receiver, although he was going the wrong route on that play.
Right, and Tristan always has a good defensive play. Was able to stop that from becoming a possible first down or just a gain for the Wildcats.
16 of 22, Lovington in the passing game for Gomez right now. 3rd down and 8 from the Eagle 48. Clock stop because of the incomplete pass at 4:27 remaining third quarter, and a 26-15 lead for the Wildcats on the road tonight. Trips left, receiver right. Gomez and Ochoa in the backfield. Gomez clapping his hands, good snap, fakes the handoff, 1-step drop, fires the post route, caught at the 40. That will be a first down and more. Looks like 16 on the reception. As coming up with a catch for the Wildcats is Elijah Rivero. So Rivero gets his 2nd catch for 28 total, that for 16. Another completion for the Wildcats. They've got 17 of 23 now. Another first down, that's 16 in the ball game compared to 4 for the Eagles. They're at the Hobbs 38-yard line.
Looks like the Wildcats want to answer back after the Eagles finally answered with their touchdown of their own.
This time they'll send 3 receivers right, 2 to the left. Gomez in the backfield, takes a good snap on the shotgun, 2-step drop, throws a ski route, is bumped up in the air. Lovington almost had it after the deflection off an Eagle defender. It looked like it went off the shoulder pads of one of the linebackers for Hobbs, and that was Cameron Hernandez, and then almost getting a deflection to his hands was Cayman Ochoa, and luckily that thing hit the turf, at least for the Eagles on that one. Incomplete.
Yeah, it looked like it was going to be a little bit of a bobble on that one, and definitely Lovington got lucky with that one. It hit the ground without it being an interception.
And luckily it didn't go in the arms of the receiver for the Hobbs Eagle defense. That might have been a 15, 20-yard pickup. 2nd down and 10 from the Eagle 38. Gomez is pointing to his left receiver, trying to get the Eagles kind of second-guessing what he's doing. He throws a quick comeback route to the 40 far right, shuffling to the far sideline to get thrown out of bounds was Cesar Gonzalez. Talk about a big wrap-up and a throw there that time. Looked like picking up a log and just chucking it into the river there was Zakai Awad, the defensive tackle. Talk about some strength from Awad that time. Of course, he's 6 foot, big senior kid, and about a 3-yard loss on that play.
Yeah, Gomez tried to do some misdirection like you were saying, but it didn't work at all. Hobbs didn't bite. Instead, they gave him a 3-yard loss on that play.
Although the connection was made on that little dump pass over there. Trips left, receiver right, 3rd down and 13. Shotgun to Gomez, 2-step drop, dance in the pocket. He's got pressure, he's going down at the 45. Big loss on that one. 13 on the loss. As the man to get the sack on that one for the Eagles, that was Cameron Hernandez, the outside linebacker, minus 14 for Gomez, the quarterback.
Yeah, and that looked like he was going to get a big play going, but instead his time ran out. That's a secondary coverage sack on that one. He had to eat it. And like you said, lost about 13 yards in the process.
Yeah, time right out of their series, too. They're in a punt situation now. Look like 4th and 20 at their own 46-yard line, so they had to back it up behind the midfield here, and they're in a punt situation. Hobbs has one back deep at the 10. The punt is underway, kept it low, little spiral action, bounces off the foot, but picked up at the 25, and heading to the right side to the 28. I don't know if you want to try to field that one. That was down near the ankle that time, and somehow getting a piece of it and scooping it with Jeremiah Hawkes. Dangerous recovery. You don't really have to field those because it's a punt versus a kickoff. You know,
right.
That punt you can let it roll, but that might have rolled by near the goal line if that would have kept going from the 25. But dangerous. But Hawkes is a good acrobat there to pull that down off the turf.
Well, at least he made a little bit of positive yards and got up to the 28-yard line.
So Wildcats with a punt and a turnover on down so far in this game. No turnovers. Eagles did have a fumble, but with 2 punts with that. Trips left, receiver right from the 27. Shotgun, Callaway. And he's going to fake the handoff, roll right. He wants to scramble, but is ripped down and somersaulted near the line of scrimmage on the far right side. As coming up to grab the legs and kind of turn him under that time, I believe was... it said 72. I don't see that on my numbers here, but actually maybe 79. Not that either. Maybe it's Oscar Mascarenas. Looks like a 77. Right. Nope, 72.
72, Jesse Chavez.
Yep, Jesse Chavez. We got two different rosters here, and that one did have the right one there. Second down and 10, shotgun. Callaway back to pass. He'll let it loft down the right sideline over the shoulder, catching the 40, and out of bounds. First down. 31-36. They're going to mark it a 36-yarder for the Eagles. And, boy, we got a big connection starting to happen with Zach Salcido and Mr. Callaway. 36 yards, 2 receptions for Salcido in the second half for 62.
Not only that, but that's a big first down for the Hobbs Eagles. That will definitely give them a boost as they continue. Plus, they're also in Lovington territory.
4 of 9 in the passing game for Callaway. That's the 5th first down. They've got a total of 78 in the air now and a time delay here. I'm not sure what they're doing. They moved the chains already. Coach Stevens is bringing the team to the sideline for some reason. And now they're going to run the clock again. So I guess they're just letting the Eagles come over and talk to their head coach. Clock down to 1:52 left here in the third. Hobbs down by 11, but they're coming back. They scored once here in the third quarter. And now they're back up to the line. 1st and 10 from the 36 of the Wildcats on the right hash. Twins left, receivers 2 to the right. Callaway in the backfield. Fakes the handoff to Armendariz, stays pocket, throws the out route. Coming to get it from the 25 is the little man that he pushes around all the way down to the 11-yard line. Of course, that's Jeremiah Hawkes. Started from the 38. They're going to mark it at the 11. 27 yards for Hawkes. Nice little stiff arm there to move it down the field.
Yeah, they got in the green zone on that one, the red zone on that one, and definitely look like they are getting into their rhythm.
3 catches for 43 now for Hawkes. 5 of 10, Owen Callaway in the passing game. Quick on the hurry-up offense. That's their 6th first down at the 11 now. They can get to the 1 for another one. Twins left and right. Callaway waits for the shotgun. Handoff up the middle to Armendariz. Angling right, 10-5, head to the goal line, diving his body. An ankle pull, but he's still able to get in the end zone as he drags Cayman Ochoa behind him. 11-yard pickup for Sal Armendariz and a touchdown. That'll be his 2nd running touchdown in this ball game. He's got 88 yards on the ground, 8 carries, and 2 TDs so far. The big-time TB for the Hobbs Eagles.
That was definitely willpower, guts, and just determination. Was tackled about the 3-yard line, was able to muster through it and get into the end zone for that nice little touchdown.
Eagles going to go with the 2-point conversion here. Split formation backfield is getting the Callaway shotgun. They're going to do the option left and a pass on the right of the end zone is Hawkes. In the middle of the field to throw the football after a little flick to the left side. He moves right, does Franklin, and chucks it into the right corner for the 2-point conversion. Hawkes the recipient on that beautiful design play. Little option left. Franklin stops left, comes back to the right, throws it in the right corner for the for the 2-point conversion. Eagles on the comeback. It's kind of lit up here now at Watson Stadium for the black and gold. 48 seconds left, third quarter. Lovington 26, your Eagles on the comeback, 23. We're back in 30 seconds. Back live at Watson Stadium, 48 seconds left, third quarter. Your Hobbs Eagles trail by 3 to Lovington. Big comeback as Hobbs has scored 2 touchdowns here in the third, just 1 for Lovington, a 3-point deficit. Eagles going to kick off. Beatty will kick it down to the 10-yard line, brought up the middle, over to the right side, to the 20, left hash, or right hash, up the middle, breaking tackles, 25, weave it through traffic, 30, and down to the 32-yard line. A 22-yard return, a lot of weaving and dodging and diving there. Boy, a lot of good effort for the Wildcats on the return by Matthew Prudencio. And that'll be Lovington football about the 33-yard line. But they're big comeback for the Eagles, of course, in this third quarter. A 3-yard run for Owen Callaway, 2-point conversion pass to Armendariz, made an 11-point deficit, and then an 11-yard run for Armendariz and a Hawkes 2-point conversion pass off Franklin's arm. And it's a 3-point game now. Eagles down 26-23, but Lovington has the football. They've run a lot of clock off in this game. They need to score, though, to extend the lead. Trips right, receiver left. Gomez the shotgun. Stays in the pocket. This is a handoff. Ochoa to the right side. 35, 40, 45. Gets tripped up and stumbles ahead about the 48. That will be a first down. Be 16 yards for Ochoa. That's going to be his first or second double-digit run here in the second half. He's got 65 yards on 14 carries so far to lead the Wildcats. And another Cat first down. That's number 17 in the ball game. They'll have it at their own 48 on the right hash, but Lovington, again, been running the clock pretty hard, and it looks like that might run out the third quarter clock here now, Ron.
Yeah, Ochoa looking like he's getting his speed going. He got past the line, got into the secondary, is showing some great movement as well. But you're right. Looks like we're going to go into the fourth quarter with our score 26-23.
We'll be back in 30 seconds right here on HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube, the Cool 95.7 Facebook page, and the radio station Cool 95.7. We're welcome back live to Watson Stadium. The Hobbs Eagles trailing by just 3 here in the fourth quarter as we get ready to start the finale. 26-23 the score. Lovington up by the 3. Hobbs outscoring Lovington 2-1 in touchdowns here in the third quarter, but a brand new quarter to go here. The final 12 minutes of regulation. Wildcats just got a first down. They have the football at their own 48, leading by 3 on the right hash. They'll send 3 stacked receivers right, 1 to the left side, and Gomez back in shotgun. They bring him out of motion right to left. That is Cesar Gonzalez. Hand off to the tailback. He comes around the right end to the 50 of the Hobbs sideline and gets pummeled down. That was Kamon Ochoa as slicing through to wrap him up quickly for the Hobbs Eagles from the linebacking core, Tristan Davis. But that's after a 3-yard pickup for Ochoa.
Yeah, once again, showing he's able to run. Not able to get a whole lot of real estate at that time, and the Eagles did swarm and cover him up real quickly, but still was able to get a couple yards as a gain.
Ochoa's had a total of 31 yards in the second half, 68 overall on 15 carries. Second down and 7 from the Eagle 49. Trips left, receiver right for the Wildcats. Gomez take a lot of time on the snap count as across from right to left and getting across the goal or the line of scrimmage, if I can get the words out here, diving straight ahead. Humidity's starting to get to me. Ochoa does get to the line of scrimmage, but not much more than that. As looks like maybe a yard to the 48.
Exactly. Looks like a short game, but still moving forward are the Lovington Wildcats. Plus, they're burning a little bit of clock, and that is definitely something that Hobbs is interested in saving.
Although it's just a 3-point lead, so not a lot of damage yet on this game. Trips left, receiver right. Gomez takes a shotgun, 2-step drop. He's going to fire the post route. It knocks off a Hobbs Eagle at the 35 in front of the receiver that time. The nice swat at the football for Hobbs in that secondary was Dale Madsen, the free safety, getting a piece of the football. Receiver was behind him, so the ball thrown a little short, but he makes sure that doesn't have any chance to get ricocheted. He knocked it to the ground instead of up in the air.
Yeah, Zayden McPherson was there, double coverage for that, so barely had a chance. Almost got intercepted, like you said, but not quite. Would have been great, and this whole crowd would have just exploded and cheering.
Lovington 18 of 26 in the passing game. 4th down and 6 now for Lovington at the 48 of the Eagles. Trips right, receivers 2 to the left. You can hear the Hobbs Eagle fans chanting defense now. Shotgun, it's going to be a punt. Kicked up high in the air. Wobbler for Gomez, the quarterback. Takes a bounce to the 25, far right sideline, and a roll past the 20 down to about the 18 as it stops, and touched dead by the Wildcats. So the Hobbs Eagle offense will come back to try to get a lead here, down by 3 with 10:38 remaining. Plenty of time in this fourth quarter.
Yeah, Lovington putting on their defense and trying to get them another chance to see if they can slow down or stop this Hobbs Eagles offense.
Top rusher so far for the Eagles, Armandaris, for a total of 88 yards on 8 carries. Their top receiver right now is Salcedo with 2 catches here in the second half for 62 yards. Also Hawkins with 3 catches for 43. 1st and 10 from the 19. Wrap around the right end, or left end by Callaway. Get loose for a second. Dragging defenders with him. Had on his back a saddle, Kyler Reeves, the sophomore on top of the quarterback Callaway, the senior. And he's going to get, looks like about
7.
Yep, we'll make it 8. They're going to give him 8 on that one. So Callaway at 5 carries now for 4 yards, but he's a little bit more of a runner than Beatty is. I think you kind of change in terms of the skill set there. 2nd down and 2 now from the 28 of the left hash. Back in shotgun is Callaway. 3-step drop in the pocket. Down the middle on the post route, and it looks like it's over the shoulder of the receiver, and he's wanting a PI. Thought he got hit in the back a little bit, pushed in the back that time. Receiver was Deshaun Franklin. So incomplete on that one. He thought he got shoved in the back. I believe it was 22 on 22. Franklin, the number 22, and the defender, Anson Marquez for the Wildcats. Incomplete.
Yeah, definitely Hobbs wants to get this ball moving. 3rd and short, they can be able to get that and continue with this, with the plays, of course.
3rd down and 2 from the 27-yard line. Trips right, receiver left. Callaway taking a little time on the count, throws this screen on the right side, come back to get Hawkins, middle of the field, 25, 30. Has a little shifty move there with the head fake and is down at the 32. So Hawkins will move the chains. He needed to get 2 and gets 4 instead. So Hawkins now with a total of 4 catches and 47 yards, and that'll be the 7th first down, 6th completion for Owen Callaway on 13 attempts. 1st and 10 for the Eagles at their 34. Clock down to 9:32 remaining, 4th quarter. Lovington up by 3. 4 in the front for the Wildcats. They're going to throw it to the left side, across the line of scrimmage, and a little bit of an errant throw. Got away from Callaway a little bit, having to dive forward to make the catch with the fingertips. Wasn't even really ready for it and just kind of dove forward like a Frankenstein and somehow able to pull it down there. Face went right to the field turf that time, and as we're trying to see who it is, he's spitting on his hands right now and wiping them off there on that near sideline. That was Justin Black.
Yep, may have been too soon for it. Definitely wasn't ready for it, like you said.
4 yards on that catch, his first of the ball game. Shotgun to Callaway, pump fake on the 30, going to send it down the left sideline to spiral, but it's intercepted, up for grabs that time at the 33 of Lovington, and the first INT of the ball game, as Callaway let that get away a little bit too far down the field, is picking it off for the Wildcats, Jaden Gutierrez. That is the 2nd turnover for the Eagles, a fumble in the first half, but that gives it back to Lovington, but just a 3-point lead at this point.
Yeah, well, still, that's wouldn't say it's not costly yet because Lovington hasn't had the ball. They haven't converted any score. But still, that is got to hurt a little bit for the Hobbs Eagles and definitely their fans. They saw some points coming up, whether it be 3 or 6, 7, 8, whatever it was. But unfortunately, instead, they got to get back on defense and slow down and stop this Lovington Wildcat team.
Yeah, Wildcats offense kind of sputtered on the last series, so they want to get back in their first half form. Trips left, receiver right from the 36 of the Wildcats. Now it's 4 receivers to the left side off the motion. A man comes back, gets the catch at the 30, and tries to get up to the 35, hits helmet to helmet, is bounced back as the Eagles get through hard. They're getting some fire up from that line of scrimmage as getting through for Hobbs that time, Zayden McPherson, the outside linebacker, and that's going to be a loss of 1 on that far left.
Indeed, once again, he makes another great play, saves some possibly a first down run, and in fact gave him a -1 on that rush.
-1 on the play. That was Zayden, or make that Thompson, the man that came up with that one. So 2nd down and 11. Ball now at the 35-yard line. Receiver left, trips, make it 4 out of the right side. Bunched up, double-stacked receivers, too. Shotgun back to Gomez. He sends it on the seam to the far sideline, jumping over the top to make the catch at midfield. We're going to see if that's enough. Did he get in bounds or not? Nope, they're saying incomplete. He was out of bounds, so no catch on that play.
Yeah, it looked like when he caught the ball, he was on the white, just ran out of real estate once again. Nice throw, just couldn't keep it in bounds.
Yeah, they tried to get that to Thompson again, but nothing doing on that one. 3rd down and 11 from the 35 from the left hash. Clock down to 7:54, stop clock due to the incomplete pass. Lovington take a little bit more time in the huddle now and finally break it. Coming up to the 35, they'll send 2 receivers, make it 3 to the left now, 2 to the right, and Gomez by himself in the backfield. 3 up top for the Eagles, make it 4. The pass down the middle, the slant caught at the 37, breaking a tackle and spun around and brought down. Finally, Alejandro Kamey. And Kamey's going to get ahead for a couple more, about 3 on the play.
But not even close. It's going to be 4th and 8 for the Lovington Wildcats once again.
Actually, that was Rivero, I should say. That was his third catch for 31 yards. And for Gomez now, that will be 19 receptions for 29 attempts.
Lovington lining up for the punt.
4th down and 7 from the 39. Bring a man in motion right to left. And the kick from the 35, so they will punt it away. Takes a big Lovington bounce to the far sideline, all the way back to the 10 as it hops over that 10-yard marker. It looks like they're going to mark it at the 11 instead, and that's where the Hobbs Eagles get another shot at bringing their offense on. Now we're starting to see some 1 or 2 decent plays for each team in these series, but they're kind of sputtering out. I wonder if the humidity is finally getting to them with 7:05 remaining in this one.
Hopefully not, but you never know. I mean, especially with the ball the way it is, sometimes it gets a little slick, and sometimes it's just dehydration. You never know, but you hope that they're both sides are conditioned well and they don't get hurt.
That was the second punt of the ball game for the Wildcats. Hobbs football at their own 11. They trail by 3 with 7:05 remaining. Twins left and right. Callaway back at shotgun. Has Armendariz back with him. A man in motion is Hawkes right to left. They'll dump at the screen to the left side to Hawkes to the 10. Stretching it out to 15. Stutter stepping, putting the Pistons on. Trying to take on 3 defenders. And all that sidestepping gets him about 6, maybe 7 yards. So Hawkes, positive yardage on that one. Make it, looks like maybe 6. As Hawkes gets the screen pass. It's 8 completions out of 16 attempts now for Callaway. And that's 53 yards on 5 catches for Hawkes. 2nd down and 4 from the 18-yard line for the Eagles. Trailing by 3 here in the 4th quarter. Twins left and right. Callaway back to the shot. Turns and fires another screen to the right side. Caught at the 15. Cutting up to the 20. To the far side. To the 25. Spinning around and put down. So another 7 on that far right sideline. That will run the chains for the Eagles.
And that'll be a 1st down.
That's Salcido again. Another catch here in the second half. That will move the chains for 8 first downs. 9 out of 17 is Callaway. And 69 yards in pass receptions for Salcido. 3 catches so far. At the 27. Make it the 26 on the right hash. The Eagles going to stand now waiting and looking over to Coach Stevens. And with the hurry-up offense, slowing it down a little bit to get the receivers set. Callaway will be back with Armendariz in the backfield with 5:40 remaining and ticking. High snap. He's going to take it himself as he tucks around the left end, up the middle now, 30, 35, and plugs forward to the 40. Some powerful running for Callaway. 13 yards for him as he tucked it and backpedaled the last yard and a half. Make it 12 for Callaway. He'll move those chains again. 9 first downs. He's got 23 yards, 3 rushes here in the second half. It was -7. He got dropped in the backfield a couple times in the first half, but definitely putting it on here. 9 first downs, make it 10 for the Eagles now at the 39. Of their own, though. Twins left and right. They come out of the play call, look over for the change up there. Everybody checking their armbands. We'll see if they do change the call. As getting ready for that shotgun is Callaway. Takes a look left and right. Got 4 on the front line defensively. You know, with the draw play around the right end, spinning and down at the 40. 1-yard pickup on the forward progress that time for Armendariz. That's going to be his 9th carry of the ball game for, let's see, 17, 18, 89 yards so far. And 2nd down and 8 now for the Eagles at their own 42.
Quick update, injury. Salcido looks like he is hurt. He is being tended to at this moment.
Yeah, and he's had some big catches, 3 total in this second half for 69 yards. 2nd down and 8 for the Eagles at their own 42. They trail 26-23 with 4:18 remaining. Twins left and right. Shotgun to Callaway. 2-step drop. Big wide steps. Faded down the far right sideline. Up for grabs. Tipped up in the air by the Wildcats. And a teammate almost got the INT. Volleyball. Spike action high in the air that time. And almost coming down with it on the field turf there. Diving underneath the football to try to pick it off for the Wildcats after a teammate knocked it up in the air. That was Cayman Ochoa, incomplete. So that will give the Eagles a 3rd down situation as the ball's at the 42-yard line. Trying to see who that receiver was that got stuck in traffic that time. So Hobbs, I think that was Justin Black out there that was got caught between the defenders on that one. 3rd down and 8. Here comes Owen Callaway. The seam route down the middle and connects. No, it comes off the pads of Black again. Actually, more of a post route from the left side. And he got between 2 defenders that time. Little ricochet action. Bounced up his numbers. And maybe getting a piece of it, Cesar Gonzalez, but incomplete. And Black kind of slapping his helmet as he comes back to the line of scrimmage. He would love to have that one back.
Definitely would have been a big first down. Definitely would have kept the clock running and could have made it to where Hobbs had this last possession be able to score. But instead, now they're facing 4th down and a long 8.
Yeah, they're at their own 42-yard line. As you said, 4:01 left in this game. And like you do, and when to move that down and run the clock, don't give Lovington a lot of time to work with on their next possession. Coach Stevens definitely going to call a timeout here. The big question is, you're at the 42 on your own side of the field. Do you continue to go for it, or do you punt the football?
Well, I think you go for it because their defense has been very strong. But, it's hard to say. We just called it up here, but you definitely like the fact that the defense has been strong for the Eagles. They've been able to slow down, stop this Wildcat team. They've only scored once in the second half, so you definitely got to make sure that if you're going to do it right. You got plenty of time either way. Just slow them down, stop them, and then be able to get back. You need to score at least 3.
Sorry we got you cut off there on the radio, possibly. 4:01 left in the game. A timeout for the Eagles facing a 4th down and 8. They have the football at the 42-yard line. Hobbs trailing 26-23 to Lovington. Lovington holding on to this 3-point lead here in the 4th quarter. Hobbs getting some touchdowns here in the second half. 2 in a row in the 3rd. They got Kylaway, a 3-yard touchdown run, the quarterback, 11 yards for Armendariz. A couple of 2-point conversions to Armendariz and Hawkes, and now a big play here for the Eagles on a 4th down and 8 at the 42 of their own. They trail by 3. Lovington has a couple defenders going to crunch up to the line here. Eagles twins left and a pair of receivers right that are stacked. And back in shotgun goes Owen Callaway. Back to pass the 3-step drop. He's going to sit it down the middle of the field. A post route. Did the ball get caught or not? Yes, it did. And that will be a total of 14 yards. Major jump in the air that time, and Hawkes comes down with it.
Definitely, that was definitely 1 in a million play. Hobbs definitely needed that one and got the first down to boot. Keeps the ball and keeps the drive alive.
That's 11 first downs for the Eagles. Another completion, 10 for Owen Callaway. So 11 first downs, 1st and 10 from the 45-yard line. Eagles in Lovington territory. They need at least 3 to tie. Trips left, receiver right. Go with the draw play. Here comes Armendariz with a stutter step up that right hash. He gets across the 45 and down to about the 41-yard line, depending on the spot, make it the 42. So a 3-yard pickup by Armendariz. Here in the second half, he's had 22 yards, 93 overall, and a total of 10 carries. 3:05 and ticking. This is what the Eagles need here. Keep the clock running and hopefully get some scoring to take over the lead, and then not a lot of time left for the Wildcats.
Exactly. A big, long run or drive down the field. Just give no time for the Wildcats to answer back.
2nd down and 7 from the 42. Delay on the snap count. Trips left, receiver right. Back to pass Callaway. 2-foot drop. A curl route from the 35. And boy, helmet right in the back of Hawkes as he goes up high, gets crunched. And he had a good shot there from the defender that was right in his back that time. Anson Marquez incomplete. That hit in the back definitely coughed the football up. He didn't have the catch, but it made it sure it wasn't going to be caught by Hawkes.
And it was good timing. Otherwise, it could have been a PI.
Twins make it trips left, receiver right for the Eagles. 2:42 left in the ball game, and Hobbs down by 3, 26-23. Trips left, receivers 2 to the right side at the Wildcat 42 on a 3rd down and 7. Callaway in the backfield with Armendariz. Fake the handoff, 1-step drop. Down the middle on the seam route, and off the hands of Hawkes at the 25. But a Wildcat defender slicing the ball off his fingertips as it was down the middle of the field that time. Might have been a post route, but great hands on the ball by, again, Anson Marquez to knock it off the fingertips of the intended Eagle receiver.
Yeah, it was delivered right to him, but unfortunately the ball was dropped, and either way, it didn't make it to it. Hit the turf, and it is 4th down once again and a long, 7?
7.5 or so. And again, this kind of feels like the Chiefs-Lions game last night to open up the NFL season. Chiefs end up losing that at home at Arrowhead Stadium. And exciting contest down to the end with the Chiefs could not get that last drive going. Trips left, receiver right. Hobbs facing a 4th down and 7 from the 42, and another timeout for Coach Stevens. We're going to take a quick 30-second break. Your Eagles trail the Wildcats here at homecoming, 26-23, back in half a minute. Welcome back. We've had some technical issues there on the radio, but on the internet, we've been live for you the whole time. 2:37 left, fourth quarter after a Hobbs Eagle timeout, second timeout on the drive. 4th down and 7 for the Eagles. They trail by 3 with 2:37 remaining here in the fourth quarter at Watson Stadium, homecoming 2023. Trips left, receiver right. They got to get to the 35-yard line. Back to pass. Owen Callaway. Two-step drop, post route down the right side. It's intercepted by the Wildcats on that far left sideline. The Wildcats with the pick in front of the Wildcat bench, and the man to come down with it for the blue and white, Jaden Gutierrez. The Eagles with their second INT of the game, third turnover overall with the fumble in the first half. And the Wildcats will have 2:34 to try to milk this clock out of here. They lead the Eagles by 3. They're not going to be able to kneel down to end this ball game, at least in these next couple of plays. So They better make sure they move the ball up the field. Lovington with 3 timeouts, just 1 for the Eagles, who've had to burn 2 on this last drive they had.
Well, they still try to preserve the clock, but yeah, you're right. Right now, the clock is in favor of the Wildcats, but their position is not, even though, some people would think a safety would help them out. But we'll see what they play it.
At the 13-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Wildcats. Trips right, receiver left. Ready for the shotgun as Gomez taking a lot of time, catching his breath here. Has a Cho on his left shoulder. Waiting for the snap. Long count here, down to 10. High snap, give it over to Choa, heading right. Now back up the middle, puts his head down. He knows he just want to keep low to the ground, so no chance for a strip. And he's going to get about 3, does Ochoa, keeping the clock running here for the Wildcats. Trying to preserve a win. They haven't had one for a couple of years since the COVID-21 in the spring. They had the season moved back to the spring time of the year. Timeout on the field, and that was the last Hobbs Eagle timeout. They want to preserve that clock in case their offense can get it back. And Ochoa picked up the 3 yards there. That's going to bring up a 2nd down and 3. We'll keep it right here. Next week, Ron, Eagles are on the road to Rio Rancho, hopefully with a 2-2 record, but they got to get at least 3 points to preserve a chance to get the W tonight.
Right. I mean, it's far from over. However, the defense has to step up strong, be able to stop this Wildcat offense from being able to move anything at all, and then have them at least punt it, if not try to get a 4th down. Hopefully, either way, Hobbs gets the ball back with some decent amount of time left on the clock, and they can move the ball down the field just by passing it out of bounds like we talked about earlier in the half.
And if with a 3-point deficit we have now, I don't think Beatty has attempted a field goal this year, so that's going to be a question too if the Eagles get the ball back. They are down by 3. Big question mark. And Beatty, what is he, just a sophomore, I believe, for the Hobbs Eagles, and that adds a whole more dimension to it. Yeah, it's just a sophomore, so we'll have to see if he gets an opportunity to tie the game, and that's a little bit down the road here. 2:27 remaining in the 4th. It's 2nd down and 7 for the Wildcats, trying to keep the clock running if they can. Trips right, receiver left. Gomez by himself in the backfield, shotgun, tucks it and goes. Keeper, 20, 25, to the left, has 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Hobbs territory, 40, 35 to the far sideline, and finally goes out of bounds. He started at the 14. And it looks like he's going to get 40 from the 14 down to the 40 at the Hobbs side.
Well, the worst thing
46, make it 48 yards on that run.
I do believe that'll be the game on that one. Just barely 2 minutes, 2:02 left. There may be just a little time to run a play, but they can pretty much sit on it after this, with Hobbs having no timeouts left to spend.
49 yards is what they give him on that one. Gomez, his big run of the night. And like you said, that's a 1st down pickup. More importantly, going to run the clock. Once you get the ball set, you just let it run there, and it's down at the Eagle 37-yard line. We said the series pretty much in the pocket of the Eagles up to start this game. They came in with 54 wins, 28 losses, but right now, trips right, receiver left. Coach Gonzalez going to call a timeout. And I'm not sure, boy, that's a gutsy call there. Right. Hobbs out of timeouts at this point. They can't stop the clock. So Coach was looking at the defensive formation there and wanted to make a little change up of what he saw. Probably going to tell his team what to do in certain situations. You got the ball. go down or whatever, but we need to run some clock here to get this game in the books.
Absolutely.
So next week, again, I was starting to talk about that before we came back earlier, but Rio Rancho next week, 6:45 pregame, kickoff at 7, and we'll get the coverage of that contest as the Eagles will get a little road trip out of it, heading up to Rio Rancho to take on the Rams.
And that'll be an interesting contest. Rio Rancho looking like they have a record of 2-1, but they actually lost their first game. It was forfeited for some reason. We'll talk about that. And they do have the 2-1 record. Hobbs still looking at 1-2. Hoping they can come back, but it's looking slim to none at this point.
Well, Jason Farmer on the road went to the Kansas City Chiefs game last night. He did not like me bringing up the Chiefs-Lions game earlier, so he just let me know that via text, okay?
I wonder why he didn't like that.
I know he's going to be driving home tomorrow, but right now we got a game going to the wire. It's still a 3-point lead for Lovington. 1st and 10 from the Eagle 37-yard line. High snap to Gomez in the backfield. He's going to nail it down and kind of challenging the Eagles to come at him. Ran a few more seconds off. You don't really want to do that stuff when you got the lead in the game in the books here by kind of dancing around there and kind of enticing the defense to do something they shouldn't do.
Exactly. It can cause a problem. And, there has been mistakes at the end of the game that have cost a team the victory simply because they fumbled the ball or did something that they didn't need to. Or even costly penalties sometimes can happen too.
Yeah, only a 3-point lead too. I mean, and he kind of turned his shoulder at the last second when the defender came and almost knocked him down. It's like that ball can get pumped out and jarred loose, and then you can move it up the field with a touchdown.
Exactly.
Clock to 48 seconds, didn't happen, so I'll quit talking about it. Got the victory formation here with a couple of slots right near the line of scrimmage. He's backing up again before just stepping the knee down. He just keeps backpedaling.
Yeah,
and
just
Gomez
burning time.
Looks like another 9. Are they going to? Yep, 9 yards on that one, and that's going to be 31 seconds left. I think the refs just told them that's all they need because that clock is going to run for 40, and they don't need all 40. Lovington fans are on their feet on the far visitor sideline there as they're tasting a victory on the road here at Watson Stadium. And unfortunately, it's a homecoming affair for the Hobbs Eagles. They're already getting the handshake line, and we still got 10 seconds left on the clock. That's the earliest I've seen it go as these two teams we're fighting for their second win of the season. Looks like Lovington will come up with it. Final score here at Watson as the gun sounds, 26-23. Lovington with the win to go to 2-2. The Eagles drop to 1-3. We'll take a 3-minute break and come back with the Hobbs Eagle postgame show live on Cool 95.7, HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube, and the Cool 95.7 Facebook page. Welcome back to Watson Stadium, Hobbs Eagle postgame show, homecoming 2023. Sour loss here for the Hobbs Eagles, unfortunately, 26-23, but a pretty decent third quarter there, Ron. A couple of touchdowns for the Eagles. Nothing scored in the fourth for either team, but Hobbs getting a 3-yard touchdown run for Owen Callaway, 2-point Armendariz catch on a conversion to make it 26-15, down by 11, and then an 11-yard run for Saul Armendariz, followed by a Hawkes 2-point catch in the end zone off the arm of Franklin. And it was 23-26 at that point. Again, nobody scored in the fourth quarter, so Hobbs pretty much dominated most of that third, although Lovington did open up the second half with a 41-yard pass to Gonzalez from Gomez. So they got things going early, 26-7, but Hobbs with unanswered points to finish up the third quarter. But really some stalled drives. You could see some teams are starting to get effects from that for humidity out there. I know it was affecting electronic equipment up here quite a bit tonight a few times in this game. So, unfortunately, we hate that to happen, but it's been kind of a mess up here with the humidity tonight. Let's take a look at some of the numbers in this game. First for the victorious Lovington Wildcats, winning 26-23, improved their record to 2-2. In terms of rushes, Choa, he was the workhorse, 17 carries for 72 yards. Did not get a touchdown, at least on the ground tonight, but did have a couple of double-digit rushes, 16, 11 a couple of times, and a 10 for the Wildcats' cause. Gomez, the quarterback, 12 carries for 32 yards, including the long of 49 in the game. He did get dropped in the backfield a couple of times. It kind of whittled down his numbers just a bit, but did have a 15-yarder in the first half. And last but not least, for Lovington was Gonzalez with 3 carries for 12 yards. So they pretty much had just 3 rushers in the game, 32 total rushing plays for 116 yards. Domination in terms of passing, though, as they had tons of receivers involved in this game, 9 total receivers getting catches, at least 1 each, and 3 of them having multiple catches. The leader of the pack in this one for the Wildcats was Cesar Gonzalez, 8 catches, 106 yards. He had a 12-yard touchdown in the first half off a reception and a 41-yarder in the second half, and also a couple other double digits, 18, 13, and 10. So 106 for Gonzalez. A couple other guys getting 3 apiece. Rivero had 3 for 31, including a 16 and a 12. And Thompson, 3 catches for 38 yards, a 22 and a 17-yarder in the first half. And sprinkling in some other receivers in this game, Alec Holguin, 1 for 21. Choa came out of the backfield, 1 for 8. It was also for Lovington. Jaden Gutierrez had 1 for 5 yards. And a couple other guys, a tight end in the game, had a catch for 1. That was Marcus Henderson. And also for the Wildcats, Kyler Reeves pulled one down for 30. And last but not least was Anson Marquez, a catch for 5 yards. In terms of the passing game for Gomez tonight, 20 of 30 for 245 yards. So unofficially, the Wildcats had 361 yards of total offense in this ball game. Pretty clean game in terms of penalties, just 2 for 20 for Lovington in the ball game. They did turn over on downs once and had 2 punts in the second half. So pretty good sheet there for the Lovington Wildcats, and really the big standout numbers, and most of these in the first half were the first downs, Ron. A total of 18 compared to 11. Hobbs started to get caught back up in that category, but there was some pretty big domination in the first half of some sustained drives, about 3 of them in the red zone for the Wildcats, and some of them getting pay dirt there.
Yeah, and both sides, especially in the second half, Hobbs was hitting their stride, like I said, just didn't quite get enough time to be able to get back into the game and get the lead. They made it very close, though, but in the end, Hobbs just runs out of time, and but they do at least get their confidence, and that's exactly what they needed, because now they're hitting the road. They're going to go up to Rio Rancho. Rio Rancho has a spotty record of 2-1, and they could face it just like they did last season and beat them. They beat them here. This time they're going to be on the road, so it's going to be an interesting test to see if they can get their final non-conference game with Rio Rancho, see if they can get on the plus side and be 2-3.
Let's take a look at the Hobbs Eagles now in terms of their offensive production in this game. First in the rushing department, Armendariz, as you can expect, usually the guy that gets the football quite a bit. He finished up with 10 carries for 93 yards. Only managed a couple of big runs in this one. Of course, the 61-yarder in the first half for a touchdown, and added another touchdown scamper of 11. So those 2 big plays for 72 total, 72 of the 93 he finished up with in the ball game. The starter tonight, Owen Callaway at quarterback, had 6 carries for 16 yards. He rushed for a touchdown in the second half for 3. And then it was also Hawkes coming out of that slot position on the reverses. He went 2 for 5 in the game. Also, a chance for the Hobbs Eagles to rush was Deshaun Franklin. He had 1 for 17. So Hobbs had 4 rushers in the game. In terms of the running department, 19 for 131. Passing game coming into the second half, definitely showing some stuff was Zach Solcito before he got injured. He had 3 catches for 69, all coming in the second half, 26 and 36 to get things going as the Eagles came back to get in the ball game. Hawkes, of course, 6 for 67 yards in the pass receptions, had a 27 and a 14-yarder in the second half, another 14-yarder in the first half. And last but not least for the Eagles, Justin Black, 1 catch for 4 yards. So 3 receivers involved in the pass receptions tonight. They were 10 of 24 in the passing game for Owen Callaway in his start tonight. 140 total on the passing game. So 271 yards compared to 361 for the Lovington Wildcats in this ball game. Hobbs did turn over the ball 3 times tonight, 2 INTs and a fumble plus 2 punts. Hobbs only had 4 penalties, though, which is pretty clean for them in this compared to some other games this season, for a total of 42 yards. Eagles with 11 first downs, again, a total of 18 for the Lovington Wildcats. The scoring tonight coming for Hobbs, a 61-yard run for Armendariz in the first half. In the third quarter, Owen Callaway, a 3-yard run for a touchdown, 11-yard run for Armendariz. So he finished up with 2 touchdowns in the game and a couple of 2-point conversions. Armendariz getting one of those and Hawkes getting the other, both in pass receptions. One off the arm of Callaway and the other, actually Beatty threw one of those, and then also Franklin threw one for the Hobbs Eagles. But, of course, game was won by the Wildcats here, 26-23, Ron.
It was, and it was an exciting game. Wasn't boring. Unfortunately, Hobbs on the wrong end, but, sometimes that happens. Broke a 2-win winning streak against the Lovington Wildcats, but they came up strong just like last week. They took advantage of those miscues that Santa Teresa had, and they did the same thing tonight. Neither team, of course, scored in the fourth quarter, but that was in favor of the Lovington Wildcats. Because of that, they were able to escape with a win or victory tonight, and they're definitely getting ready for more games in this season.
Of course, that was the first win for the Wildcats since 21, so not a long time ago. That was during the COVID season where we had the spring season instead of the fall, and so they were able to win. That was a very close game, too, a couple of point differential there, wasn't it?
Well, let's see. The 2019 was 26-0, but then 2021 came along, and it was 46-0, so that's what you're talking about. So no, it wasn't close. It was actually –
Well, I have a 28-25, so I'll have to double check.
Okay.
Spring 2021 was 28-25 for COVID.
Okay,
for
well, I have something different, but then again, I could be wrong, too.
You're wrong, Ron. You're
wrong. I know. When in doubt, I am totally wrong.
Yeah, R-O-N, Ron, and you put a G on it, it's wrong.
Exactly. And it's wrong. It's the wrong way to spell it, too.
We'll double check on that regardless.
Exactly.
Not important, I guess you could say, on the radio here right now. Not on the internet as well. But let's talk about Rio Rancho. You mentioned a 2-1 record at this point, and of course they're hosting their homecoming. Jason Farmer reminded me that they're having their homecoming next week, and of course getting a Southern team, which of course the Eagles with long road trips throughout the season. So far, in terms of their schedule, if you take a look at the games that they've played, they've won 2 out of 3 so far at this point. They have 1 loss under their belt, their recent games. And what are we seeing about this Rams squad?
Well, here's the thing. All right, so the first game they won, actually they didn't win. They only won in forfeit because it shows forfeit on there. But they lost to La Cueva 35-14. It was not even a close game. However, the forfeit happened. Not sure exactly why.
The forfeit was because La Cueva had an ineligible player in that game, and so that counts as a loss there. It got figured out a few days later, but of course there are a lot of investigations going on with that. But you're right, that was the situation there. They then had El Dorado. They beat them 40-26 in Game 2. Then they lost to El Paso Eastlake back on September 1st. Got blown out by them 35-7. It looks like they have an away game tomorrow against Oregon Mountain. That is in Las Cruces at the Field of Dreams. Oregon Mountain at 0-3, Rio Rancho at 2-1.
And that'll be an afternoon game, of course. It'll be hot over there as well. But here's the thing. Oregon Mountain is, I believe, 0-3.
Right.
And they're not as strong as they used to be. So I believe it's going to be an easy victory for them. And as they do so, of course, they're going to be gearing up for the next game, which will be against Hobbs at their home field.
We should mention, though, Oregon Mountain has a national champion high school coach back. He used to coach in Nevada. He's kind of moved around a little bit for different reasons. We won't go into all that detail tonight, but he's trying to get this team back on track. But like you said, they're 0-3, so we'll have to wait and see how that one turns out. Actually going to play kind of an early game on that one, 11 o'clock tomorrow in Las Cruces. The one here we're wrapping up from Watson Stadium, 26-23. Lovington picks up the win, and they go to 2-2. And, of course, I know Coach Gonzalez takes a lot of lumps in the pre-district schedule, but he always says that he wants to do that. He wants the teams from up north and around the state to say, hey, Lovington doesn't have a great record. It was, 0-2 to start, 500 now. How good are they going to be? But, they take their lumps against the Artesias, the Roswells, and go hard against the Hobbs Eagles, get a win here tonight. Again, that's a good a precursor to what they're going to face in district.
Yeah, and it makes conference for them, I believe, a little bit easier. It's like, when you're pushing up a huge rock, and then in the end, basically, you're going to be carrying a boulder instead of a rock. Your muscles are trained for that extra push, and then when you get some supposedly easier conference players or teams, then you can show off your skills, be able to win without any problems, without breaking a sweat, as some people would say, and just move on in the conference as easy as pie.
Of course, that's not going to be the case this year. Portales undefeated right now, 3-0. They've got Academy also in that district, and I believe Bernalillo is the other team. But those teams are pretty solid at this point. And, of course, that 3-0 Portales squad is always an arch rival game for Lovington. So, again, Lovington comes out with a big win on the road tonight, if you call it a road trip, 20 miles or so. But still an exciting game, and that's the kind of thing we want to see. We've had some, 20-plus, 29 shutouts over the years. But this one is a win for the Wildcats. Again, final comments as the Eagles prepare to go to Rio Rancho, and now they're 1-3 right now. You don't have a district started yet, so we're not worried that's going to be an 0-0 record. Does it really matter what happens in this Rio Rancho game, or is it just a confidence booster and a psychological situation here for Hobbs to say, hey, what are we going to do about quarterback? Owen Callaway, pretty decent production with some of the passes he threw tonight. We had a change there at the QB position. Some receivers stepped up that didn't step up last week, but we had some people that didn't get their name in the books tonight. So what are we going to take up to this Rio Rancho game?
Here's the situation. We're 1-1 on the road. We want to do better on the road because, if we have a mediocre record, then we're definitely not going to be playing here in the first game of the playoffs. Of course, you can't talk about playoffs until you start getting in the conference. However, you want to go up, and we're going all the way up to Rio Rancho. That is a long, almost 6-hour drive for the team. And you definitely want to make sure that you go up there and play your best. So they're going to go up there, do the best they can, get a victory, especially against, like I said, a spotty Rio Rancho team that could be 1-2, but because of the forfeit, they are not. And Hobbs is going to see if they can get on the right track. Then they got the bye week after that. They're going to start conference. And, like I said, they're going to be 2 games on the road in Las Cruces. They want to make sure that they can get the road legs under them, get the win in Rio Rancho, and start on the right foot.
Also like to say congratulations. A couple of people getting the win tonight for the homecoming court 2023. We mentioned earlier Amari Patton, the king, but we finally got the name of the queen thanks to Jason Parrish, the principal there at Hobbs High. Brasai Armandaris is crowned the queen tonight along with Amari Patton, the king. So congratulations for that victory for the homecoming. Not really a victory, but excitement there. Ron, did you have any final scores tonight around the area that of interest to the fans around here?
I sure do. I'm going to start off with yesterday's game that was in Clovis. Hobbs JV came up big, 54-8 with their first victory over the Clovis JV. Love to hear that, of course. We had Clovis and Carlsbad battling it out. It was 27-10 at the third quarter. Clovis squeaked it out 33-23. Jal, on the other hand, still, as far as I know, they're still playing. It is 30-0 in the fourth quarter. They are losing big to Dexter. They got Dexter last year. It was a 50-0 score, so that's amazing that that's happening. And Las Cruces also went down big to Cleveland. Final score on that one was 42-13.
You said there was what about Tatum? You had that one yesterday too, right?
No, that was tomorrow, right? Tomorrow is Tatum.
Okay, yeah, you were talking about last week's game. We've come on the air before that, and I believe Eunice is on the road tomorrow at Santa Rosa. That's another one. Santa Rosa, boy, they're always strapped up and ready to go for their game. So good luck to the Eunice Cardinals on the road tomorrow in that one. I got some people sending some scores in here. Dexter and Jal, did you have the final on that one? Did you say?
No, last time I saw it was 30-0, and that is now a final. Actually, it's so Jal got on the board 30-6 was the final, but Jal losing big over Dexter. Like I said, last year, Jal had beat him by 50, and, of course, that was a mercy rule ending.
Thanks to Evie back at the station for getting us the final update on that one. The final score here tonight, homecoming 2023, won by the Lovington Wildcats, the visitors, 26-23 to go to 2-2. The Eagles now 1-3. We'd like to get our sponsors in here before we take off from Watson Stadium as the fans are starting to mill out here with the fun festivities for homecoming week.
And the sponsors are Eastern New Mexico University, Devon Energy, NMR Pipeline, Lee County State Bank, TDS, Forest Tire, ATEC Air Conditioning and Heating, Lasgo Construction, First American Bank of Hobbs, and Divine Energy Services. Thank you very much for everybody sponsoring us on the radio as well as on the internet.
So next week, 6:45 pregame. Kickoff at 7 o'clock here on Cool 95.7, HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube, and the Cool 95.7 Facebook page. For Evie Stuber back at the station, Ron Gunner, myself, Ty Friend, have a great rest of a weekend out there, and we'll see you next week in Rio Rancho.